What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sandlot Gaming's Dungeons and Dragons. Here we are running through the Tomb of Annihilation for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. We are season 2 of our session here. We are in session 21 of this module. We are a bunch of noobs, a little slower than most people at this, but anyway, where we are right now, from our map, you can see we are currently at Orlunga. We worked our way here. We'll do a summary here in a little bit, so let's just go over who's in our party. We have a bard, a wizard, a druid, a monk, and a fighter. And we are working our way through the jungles of Cholt. We just hit level 6 last week, so there should be some new fun stuff this week that people can do. And hopefully, we'll get into it here soon. And let's jump in the chat and see what's going on.
Full hit points back. We just don't get our full hit die back.
When you do a long rest, you go up to full hit points and you get half of your hits.
Rounded up. Rounded up.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that mic! Look at that. You got the stabilizer on the bottom of it too. There.
Oh yeah, I've had this for a while. Yeah, this is the new setup.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how we haven't done anything but play this, and everybody's been upgrading their recording equipment. like we have a swelling audience on the internet or something. Or
dude, once you start getting into the audio shit, man, it spirals quick.
It really does.
So So the week before last, I had to do 2 podcasts for work. Like I was getting interviewed for some podcasts. I rushed home and I was like, I'm not using this junk at work. I've got the perfect setup for this.
Yeah.
Well, that was a business expense.
That's what Alex was telling me.
Did you pick one of the D&D?
At least you could at least write it off. Yeah.
Was that one of your examples of your media prowess, is to do one of the D&D episodes?
It was not.
Dartopus.
I did get a comment that my audio sounded better than the interviewers. I was like, well, I know why.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. Like I got the mic and I was like, oh, it sounds good, but I got to be real close to it. So now I need a boom arm so I can get it closer to me, and I don't have to put it up there. And then it's like, and I got the boom arm, and like, it sounds good, but I'm still popping, and you can really hear my breathing a lot. I'm like, I need a pop filter, and it's like,
yeah, you
all
breathe
right, now it sounds
heavy.
good, but you can, yeah, I do. But now you can hear the the echo in the background. So I'm like, now I need some
acoustic tiles,
some acoustic foam in the corner or something here to absorb that. So it's
well, and also next you're gonna need a green screen so that you can Photoshop the back, and
that's right.
That's where Andy and I will be able to help you out with that.
Make it look like I'm actually in Cholt. Yeah.
That is the one thing that I think that is saving me right now, is not having an office to play. Is like, I don't have the space to have all this equipment right now. Like, that's like, that is dangerous. I definitely want to do that.
Just have it be Venice, Mike. Just put yourself in a dog mask.
I'm in Venice. Hey.
I'm in Venice. That was the best. Anthony used to demand it after every podcast.
Hey,
He'd be like,
how's Venice?
Where are you? Where are you today? I'd be like, oh, near a brick wall, I guess.
Can we get going? Or we wait for Zig?
No, let's get going. I mean, it's gonna be several odd days of travel anyway, so might as well hit the Ricky Road.
He said a few minutes late. He's bathing the kiddo.
Yeah, so. I think the estimate was a half hour, so maybe 15 minutes from now. So by the time he gets here, we should just have our feet on the grass, probably.
All right. Okay, so you guys are still in the temple, in the other plane, the pocket plane, with Sajin Abaza, formerly known as Iku. She's sleeping, curled up on the other side of the room. You guys are able to bunker down on some of the luxurious pillows in the temple, and get some rest. Although you do notice that, despite feeling like it gets later, the light from outside never changes. The sunlight continues to come in through the opening to the temple the entire night. There's no movement.
It's the land before time.
We're on a different plane.
Yeah. ethereal plane, right? Like a plane of existence.
Well, when you look outside, you can see Chult.
Yeah, but she
yes,
mentioned
She's
it was on a
already
different.
told us that we're on a different plane, though.
Yeah.
That's right. So when you look outside, you can see Chult, but the sun doesn't seem to have really moved in the sky. So
Flat Earth.
Oh god. Put me on tilt, man.
so
But Chult could be flat. You don't know.
It's in a fantasy universe, Meryl. Stand
it
down.
could be a flat Earth.
Stand
It
down.
could be a flat Earth.
Flat Chult.
Trigger
Hashtag
warning.
flat
Trigger
Chult.
warning.
Hashtag flat jolt.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Can't be done.
Prove me
Can't be
wrong.
done.
Yeah.
I'll fly the angel of the air, then I'll tell you.
So after spending quite a few hours resting up, getting your full long rest in, you all awaken and are ready to start the day anew. But you are still inside of the temple.
And
Is
she's
the
still
sun moving? No.
No, it hasn't moved a bit.
Okay, so we're still on the
And
same
she is
plane.
asleep. Sajana Baza is curled up, in a little coil.
right.
Actually, a pretty large coil.
Sure. Yeah.
She's not moving.
Is it a loot?
Yeah. Anything worth taking on our way out?
No,
You
I
can look
don't.
around.
I would
No.
look around.
No.
I would
that's
I would
not-
look around for anything exactly the value of what we paid for our guide fee, including our actual guide fee.
Which you did not contribute to.
Nevertheless, I understand it was paid. Contracts are important to the albino dwarven people.
You're a dwarf?
I was raised by dwarves.
I suggest that we get a move on.
I just asked a question if there's
We
any.
know that if
So
we were to
you-
go talk
when you-
to her, and this is a Japanese RPG, we would go talk to her and they go zzz.
So
Right.
Jason, when you look around the room, you see a lot of kind of ornate decorations, hanging lamps, incense burners, pillows, but there's nothing in the way of traditional loot. There are no weapons to speak of. There are no statues. It all seems to be mostly kind of decorative and more almost comfort oriented.
on our
How big are
way
the-
then.
How big are the pillows?
The pillows.
You gonna take
they
one?
vary in size. So there
Can I
are
find a small travel pillow?
like a little throw pillow?
Like a
Yeah,
neck
just like
pillow
small,
that wraps
like,
around
A
your
neck
neck.
pillow.
something like that, dude.
You absolutely can. It's made of a really lush velvet.
I'd like to take that and strap it to my backpack.
Watch
I'm
it turn
gonna
into snakes.
warn you. I'm gonna say, wait a minute. Let's not
Probably
take
gonna turn
anything
into
that's
snakes.
not ours. That is a giant snake that will eat us.
She said she was gonna sleep for several decades.
She's been very helpful. I'm sure.
We don't know
I'm
what kind
sure
of
she
security
would-
system she has. It could get ugly, boys.
Security.
What happened
Kidding
last
me?
time we roamed around a place we weren't supposed to roam around in?
The
Zig had
pillow.
to turn into the Pitfall video game in order to get out of there. It was crazy.
Squawk watches Roland taking stuff and thinks, "Why did I think of that?" And starts going through and finding things that he wants.
Okay.
God.
All right,
So the
I will.
pillow is like a maroon, and it has this,
I love
gold,
that you're describing it.
kind of embroidery across it, and then also this gold, kind of like almost rope that surrounds it on the edges, like it's a decorative kind of rope around the edges of this rectangular pillow. With a
Spoiler
few
alert.
gold tassels as well, one at each corner.
The pillow
Just
will
look
not
like
leave this
one of
plane.
one of the most elegant ones. Or I just want a throwaway one. I don't want the most
No,
elegant.
they're all pretty elegant. So this is and you also have two little buttons in it that are kind of creating some indentations. This is kind of the smallest, the one that's most compact that you can find.
All right. Well, I'm good. Yeah. No, I'm gonna strap it to my backpack.
All right, Squawk. What is it that Squawk is going to be on?
Well, there's nothing that
on
Squawk
lookout
wants
for?
because there's nothing that he's just looking around, but he admires Roland's Roland's. You know what? I want this, and he takes the attitude. There's nothing that nothing that Squawk wants, but Squawk is 100% behind Roland taking things that he wants.
Okay.
So before we head out, after pondering all night and weighing my options, I've decided to eat the scale that I was given.
right. Okay. So you take the scale, and it's like the size of a Dorito, and it's a
Canonically.
shiny.
It's a Cool Ranch Dorito flavored scale.
Nah, dude, the sweet chili
Shiny
lime.
gold.
Those are the sillies.
Oh, Andrew, you got quite a haircut there.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten one in like 2 months.
Did you fall asleep in the chair, or what happened there?
No, this is normally how my hair gets cut. This is
me
whatever.
now. All right.
What about
So-
this
Kind of
cool
expect
ranch
you to have
Dorito?
some frosted tips there.
What about this Cool Ranch Dorito? Come on.
So it's a shiny kind of iridescent, mostly gold, but with flakes of other colors. It is quite flexible, and so you put it in your mouth and start to swallow it. It's pretty difficult. It's not really comfortable, but you're able to swallow it down. It kind of gets stuck in your throat a few times.
Is there any ranch around that I could dip it in? Or
Cool Ranch.
that always
has a
helps.
little bit of a tang to it. For about a minute, nothing happens. And you just maybe you feel a little silly. I'm not sure. So at a couple minutes in, though, your arm close to where your stone fist is starts to itch. Close to where the skin meets the stone and kind of transitions into that stone. Like, then that itching kind of crawls up the rest of your skin, up your arm. And then you have some itching on your other arm and on your chest. And you start to scratch at those itches. And you start to see your skin start to peel off in huge chunks. And you start you can kind of peel it back like this, and it's like when you have a horrible sunburn and you just like grab it.
Have you guys seen Deadpool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where his hand grows back?
Yeah. Yep. So you can peel it back. But as you start to do so, you see your normal skin underneath, no scales, thankfully. But you're also noticing that the stone is chipping away from your fist, and you start to feel like you can flex your fingers inside of that stone, and it starts to crack. As those cracks form, you see little tendrils of blue light emanate from the cracks. And then, boom! Your fist opens up, stone flies over, and you can now move your fingers freely. But what you see underneath that now is it's your hand once again, but it's almost like a little translucent. And
That's how my hand is.
Coming out of it, and little wisps of blue and white light kind of trailing off of it. And let's go ahead and
whoa! Bonkers!
And so if you scroll down to the bottom there, as part of this gift, there's a couple new capabilities that you have while you're channeling the energy, the holy energy of Lightbringer, which was previously invested into your hand.
Told you it'd be fine. He's like, what if it's normal? I was like, you gotta take it. You gotta eat the thing.
What if it's normal? That would be the worst.
That would be the worst. I'd be nothing. I'd be like, you're nothing anyway. Eat the thing.
Where are you getting the rules for this monk?
I think he's making them up.
Let's not ask questions.
It's basically it's equivalent of a magic item.
That's badass.
Oh, dude, you can fly with this thing?
Wait, what?
+2 to attack and damage? Whoa.
Well, no, that's what I had before.
That's what he had before.
That's not new.
Oh, all right.
Whenever I
That hasn't
activated the stone fist, that's what it did.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I had +1 attack on my fist attacks always. Because it was...
No wonder you were.
Well, no, because in theory, when I hit with something made of stone, it would hit harder than when I hit with just my normal, fist. So
I don't know if you're weak. I guess.
There's no longer +1 normally, and it also
This
doesn't
is
count.
bonkers,
as a mace
man.
anymore.
This is fucking crazy.
Holy
man.
heroism? Fucking bonkers, dude.
This is ridiculous.
Broken monk.
I should have told you to throw that thing away.
it's not +1 normally anymore.
It is not.
Yeah.
And you can't use it as a mace. Although it doesn't matter now because you're level 6, so your
the same.
unarmed is the same. But it does mean that you can now wield a weapon.
Yeah.
But you can stop someone from being frightened. So there you go, Nick.
Yeah, but you get added hit points on top of it too.
For heroism?
Mm-hmm.
The recipient of heroism, which doesn't have to be him, does get temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Every round, actually.
Yeah.
Every
But
round.
they don't stack. Temporary hit points don't stack.
No, but still, that's
No, but it keeps you fresh. Wow, that's really good.
Heroism is.
Look it up, man. It's strong.
I know it's a bard spell.
the wings are the wing. You're gonna be fucking flying all over the place now.
Oh, that's intolerable. I gotta get I gotta get that cloak back, or he's gonna be like, I'm all terrain recto.
Air, earth, and water, bitches. I am the wind.
Right.
I am the wind.
Wow.
So you also find that you're like, it's not it doesn't stop at your arm. You kind of have to like maybe hide behind some pillows and peel the skin off your entire body. You kind of have to take your clothes off as you shed, and like as you walk away. If anybody else looks behind that pillar, they see like a full size kind of recto skin suit.
A recto suit
laying on the ground.
Gross.
Oh wow.
So how long? What is the duration of Channel the Lightbringer?
1 minute.
Okay.
Basically a one battle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't have your mic on. Something's going wrong there.
With me?
Andrew's talking, but nobody's home.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Andrew.
Making faces isn't going to fix it.
Quite a while. All right. Any questions about that?
Do you see
Meryl?
what you get at 15th
Not
level?
yet.
That's
15th
find
level
out.
is it's been the same. That's the same as before. The 15th
Let's go
level.
find a random encounter.
The only additions here are Courage of Tolton, Wings of the Guardian.
Yeah, we're not getting to 15th level, so it's not.
No, never, but still. Just to think of it.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right. So, just a quick out of character. I thought that
Because that's so out of character for us.
right.
Test.
I thought the
There you are.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
the consent. Yep, we hear you now. Was
So
the
what I was asking before Hillers gets to make this pun is the cool thing now to have our microphone in view?
It is.
There it is.
didn't occur to me.
Okay.
That
Hillers,
one's all
proceed.
you. No,
Hillers, proceed.
my understanding from our discussion was that our intent was to head to Camp Vengeance and see if there was a way by water down to Camp Nangalore, and either way from there head to Camp Nangalore through the most expeditious route.
I second.
I agree.
And I think we should probably head to Camp Vengeance by way of the way we came to Camp Vengeance, in the hope of minimizing,
Yeah, we can just follow my breadcrumbs.
That's a
I'm
good
sure
idea.
sure they're still there.
The giant, almost holes I blew in those trees. Yeah, man, they'll be there.
Nah, we left a fair path of destruction behind us. That's fair to say. So
Across the 70 to 80 miles, you have to go. Might even be more than that.
we leave a fair path of destruction across any amount of miles that we happen to pass. So, okay, that's it.
Okay, so you guys are leaving the temple?
Oh, hey, Troy. Before we
Yes.
disembark,
100
I had a
miles.
question. Could we? You said we're allowed to use one other source besides the base compendium for our spells.
You can. So for character development in general, so for your race, class, spells, etc.
Once you pick one, you're locked.
Right.
Yeah.
It's PHB plus one other source.
Okay. Good, because I haven't picked one yet. I've just basically been out of the PHP. May I use Melf's I'm sorry. Hang on a second. It comes out of the evil player's companion.
Yep.
Okay. Very good then. Thank you.
Just remember that. So once you've done that, now you can choose when you level up anything from there that still fits your character, but you can't say go to Volo's guide or anything like that.
Understood. I've been pure player's handbook from this point past. So
Cool. Great.
That one spell that I really wanted was from a different book.
Oh, bummer. Yeah,
Such a
that by
slight-
the way, that is a WotC recommendation to kind of, they're like, basically we test
Right.
things we test each book with the player's handbook. We don't test them with each other.
So there's overpowered potential combinations or disastrous consequences they're trying to avoid.
Yeah, basically.
Makes sense. Oh, Steve did Volos, but Jason hasn't done anything. Can Jason take a different one if he wants?
Yeah, Jason
to?
hasn't done anything. He can't even kill a T-Rex.
So this is per character.
You
not
saw
per
the
player.
damage logs,
I saw the kill logs too.
Mr. 27.
I saw the kill logs.
KDR.
So
Uh,
it looks like I have to manually enter the spell that I want into my stuffs because we don't have that one
Yeah.
loaded into Roll20.
Yeah, I don't think Elemental Evil's on here.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, so we're gonna head out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Presumably, Roland is first out the door because that's your typical marching order. So, Roland, as you leave the temple, you can feel this kind of pressure, this force pushing against you as you step out. And as you step out, you feel kind of this wave of kind of the jungle heat hitting you. But you also see the sun start to slowly move, and then faster and faster, and then slips by. You see the moon pop up, flip to night, and all of a sudden, boom, sun rising again, and all of a sudden, you see multiple days pass right in front of your eyes in the sky before it slows back down, and you're standing outside of the temple entrance. You look behind you to kind of probably see maybe, did anybody else see that? And you see nothing behind you. It's just a completely empty room of the temple. And then slowly, all the other characters come out of the temple. And all of you, now when you look behind you, the room behind you is a small, empty stone room once again.
That was fun.
How did your back feel? How did your back feel, Roland?
Better than ever.
Is there a pillow on his back?
It's strapped to his backpack, I think, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering if I made the trip.
Does it have the Jack
I'm gonna
Down
sleep well, I'm gonna sleep good.
slogan on it?
So as you all are kind of talking amongst yourselves, you notice down at the bottom of the steps in the field, just past the brambles, you can see 6 humans walking around with 3 of them kind of poking at the brambles, and 3 others several yards back, just maybe looking on or perhaps commanding these folks. You're not really sure. There 5 of these individuals are decked in red robes, while one other is wearing a more Cholton-like garb, and appears to have the complexion of a native Cholton. They haven't yet noticed you.
Well, do we want to talk to these people?
No.
Trying to get the hell out of here.
No, let's leave him alone. Let's head out the back. Let's just turn around the back side of the room and head down the other side of the pyramid.
Well, I would say we should probably talk to these people.
I want to talk to them. Do they look like they're having troubles getting through the brambles?
Well, they certainly haven't gotten past it, from what you can tell. They're inspecting it. You don't know how long they've been doing that, but they're not midway up the the ziggurat or anything.
They're still at the bottom
They're
of the
base.
ziggurat.
They're in the field.
I mean, we can ask them while we're up on here who they are. They're not like they're
Yeah,
gonna hurt us.
I want to fly down. I want to fly down and talk to them. Like personally.
No, you're not gonna fly. You're not gonna fly. Don't fly.
Are you gonna fly?
No,
You
let him
can't-
fly out there.
You
Let
can't
him fly out. Let him fly
You'll
out
get
across
knocked
the
down
snake.
into the snakes and you'll die again.
That's what I'm going.
For the
up,
love
I'm
of
going down,
God.
it's okay. When I'm
No, I
going
know what
down, it's
flying
okay.
means. You can't fly down this thing.
Let him do it.
I have full health, and I'm not gonna. I don't think I'll heal him again.
You have
Please
to use
let
the
him do it.
materials that you have with you to do the same things we did to get down and up. Or maybe just walk. They might just let you go down, which they did with the other dudes, with the Chewingas.
I heed their advice and I attempt to walk it down through the brambles.
I'd like to ask, because I want to see one of these. I'd like to ask the Chewingas for help. Are we able to just continue to walk down here?
All right, so Roland, as you ask a Chewinga for the Chewingas for help, all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, in a place where you already looked, you don't notice it appear, but all of a sudden it's just there, and you do see a Chewinga kind of hanging out and looking down at the other individuals, and really not paying as much attention to you, more staring at these other humans.
Can I tell is there any kind of expression from these things? Can I tell if this is fear or concern?
Go ahead and make an insight check. And this is going to be with disadvantage, actually, because these guys are really small and you're not familiar with them. All right, that's good enough. You intuit that there is concern. I wouldn't call it fear, but concern.
I'd like to relay that information to everybody, since I don't think everybody can even see these things yet. So let people know that maybe we don't want to just walk right up and slap high five here. There's some look of concern from the Chewingas in the area. Does that change anything for anyone?
Personally, I still want to go talk to them.
Squawk, you start to walk. So Squawk, you start to walk down the steps, and you maybe put your toe out cautiously, and you see the snakes kind of scatter away from you.
Right.
You put another foot down, snakes. So they're clearing a path, and then as you walk further down, the snakes kind of come back together right behind you. So they're really only clearing out just a space for your feet.
Okay, cool. While I am walking down and doing that. All right, so I'm going to use this ability. And my false identity is an Ericoan prince.
Okay.
I'm just going to start getting into character.
Eric Cochran. So you're going to still be Eric Cochran.
Yeah, I'm so obviously.
He can't really disguise that on the way down the stairs.
The way that I'm interpreting this is that I can't. Obviously, I can't make myself look like anything but an Eric Cochran, but I can falsify who I am as an Eric Cochran.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like this bard. I am a royalty bard. You know, I am royalty of the Eric Cochran.
A royalty bard.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, that's how I've RP'd it.
So
No, that's exactly right.
It does say that you could have fashioned a disguise, but I would say that at this point you probably don't have enough time to change into anything. But you do. I would imagine you have the documentation. You've got your papers on hand in case you needed them, and kind of you have immediate recall of exactly who you are. You're not making it up on the spot, even if Nick is.
Yes.
Is not. Okay, and shortly, so before you even reach the first landing, or the second landing, I suppose, you see the Cholton point up at all of you, and he shouts, "Valendra, up there!" And you see this blonde woman in the red robe. She's one of the 3 people that are standing back away from the temple.
Can you guys hear me?
You see her and a what's that?
Can you guys hear
Stand
me?
by. The lag. We've got a sudden Discord.
Yeah,
issue.
something's happening in Discord. I feel like.
since I joined up and I'm plugged into Hardline on my router, I've been having you guys lock up like every 2 to 5 minutes.
I'm getting it too. So.
Leave and restart real quick.
Maybe somebody else. Who started the call tonight?
I did.
You want to try it again?
Somebody else try it, maybe? I don't know.
I could try it.
Yeah, you want to
You
last
try it?
time.
I'll try it. I'll try it.
All right, who started
It
it?
looks better.
Hello.
That's Andy.
Sounds a little better.
The video quality was all there, but it was like every 2 to 5 minutes, everyone would lock up for about 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I just had it start happening.
Sorry to interrupt you, Troy, but that was...
Yeah, no worries. So, good. Nick, are you back?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So again, there's these 6 humans. 3 of them are kind of poking around at the base of the pyramid. They're pretty far spread out. 3 others are pretty close together. They're back about 30, maybe 30 feet or so from the base of the temple. One of them is this Cholton who has kind of pointed out up to you, and he's shouting over to this blonde woman wearing the red robes. She looks up at you, as does the man next to her, who is he's wearing a red robe with the hood drawn up, and you see an enormous maul strapped to his back. It was Valindra was the name that you heard here.
Oh, Valindra.
So you see this woman who you believe to be Valindra, based upon what the Cholton shouted out. You see her speaking quietly to the man next to her, but you can't hear what she's saying. Squawk, you kind of continue down. You get to that landing, and you see the man, not Valindra, but the man she was speaking to, start to walk forward towards the pyramid, looking up at you, Squawk.
Now, their red robes they're looking at, does this look like the robes from the half-eaten person that I saw?
They do.
Whoa!
Okay.
Good callback, Nick.
Hello. How can I help you?
Okay, so you're pretty far from them, so you have to be basically shouting down to them, and and this guy that walks up. So, but at this point now, the 3 others who were kind of inspecting the base of the pyramid, they've noticed as well, and they're just all looking towards this guy that's walking towards you, and not doing anything. They're kind of just staying in place. This gentleman walks towards you, and he shouts up to you, "Hello there. We're having a bit of trouble ascending the pyramid. Looks like you've figured it out. Care to help us up?"
What is your purpose here?
We seek the oracle here.
Why do you seek the oracle? Everyone here seek the oracle. Why are you here?
Our guard here, Silu, and he points to the Cholton. This guy's Cholton. He's wearing kind of expedition gear. He does have some weapons on him, but he looks maybe more like a guide, less than a soldier. But certainly somebody who is armed. More so than say Iku was. Silu says that many of our questions can be answered by the oracle here, but we
Rhinoceros gore?
We remain.
Shit, sorry.
What the hell? This attempted diplomacy is bone now.
Sorry, filled out my macro.
Diplomacy fail, rhinoceros gore.
Sorry, I couldn't let that one go. That one came out of nowhere.
My bad.
I barely hit a
Misclick.
score.
that's bound to ruin any peace talks. Sorry, go ahead.
So Squawk, he's talking to you.
Oh, they're trying to see the oracle.
Yes.
No, I got that, but we got distracted by rhinoceros gore. Like,
I know, but you just asked them, why are you trying to see the oracle, and he just told you.
And you forgot immediately. Like a bird would do.
Birds are very smart. Why should the Oracle trust to let you through?
He says, "Have you seen the Oracle?"
What I have seen and haven't seen doesn't matter. You are the one that's trying to get through here. We made it further than you have. So why should we help you? What is your? You say you want to see the Oracle, but how do we know you're not here to kill the Oracle? Look at how many weapons that you have. Why are you? How do we know that you mean peace?
So you must
leave your weapons. You must leave your weapons with me if you wish to see the Oracle.
Yeah, nice.
So he's the only one that really has a weapon. You can see you see Silu the guide has a few weapons on him. The rest seem to just be walking in their robes and they each have a staff. But this guy that you're talking to, he has a maul. Silu has some kind of local weaponry on him, but that's all the weaponry you see. He, as you say this, he turns around to the woman behind him, and she kind of gives him a nod, and he turns back around and he says, "We're seeking to solve the death curse here in Chult. I'm sure you're aware of it. We seek guidance from the Oracle on how to find the source of this curse."
Who sent you?
He says, "I'm in the employ of my master, Valindra. She's here with me."
Who is Valindra? Assuming that I do not know who Valindra is, like assuming that unless that's been, it's clear
well,
that
he's pointed. He like basically said, "Who's here?"
Oh,
with
so
me,
he motions to Valindra saying, "This is who she is." Okay. There are many people out to fix the death curse. Why should we let you out? The death curse is a thing that everyone's trying to solve. That is a very common quest amongst adventurers. Why should we trust you to get through?
You need not trust us. Just help us to get up, and you go on your way, and let us speak to the Oracle.
We were able to, obviously we have made it further than you have without the guidance of you. So what is in it for us to be able to help you?
So Andrew, what were you trying to? Was Zygmundo trying to jump in here?
I don't know whether this was in the guidebook for this, but this is hilarious that we're meeting another party doing exactly what we're doing.
That's nice.
This is great, and I love what Nick is doing here. Do we really? I think as a party, we should really just fuck with them, just go whole ham on them, and give them bad advice.
We're the cult of the Oracle. Why would we give them bad advice? I mean, if they're gonna be a meat shield on the way to Omu, I'd say let them know where to go and wish them the best.
We don't know who they are.
I would say, let's dial the metagaming down, right? If Zygmundo wants to do that, why don't you let Zygmundo come in?
Okay, I was trying to talk to the party, but I guess if that's not allowed, that's fair. So.
It's allowed, but let's I think here's the distinction is if you have a moment as a party before going into an encounter or something, then I think it's some metagaming. It represents you guys working together.
Totally fair.
Squawk has initiated the
right. He's in control of the current narrative, but it's fair for us to talk to each other at the top of the pyramid.
You guys can jump in. Yeah, I would imagine that the rest of you are up there talking to one another.
We can hear him. He's shouting. I mean, we can hear him.
You can hear what's going on. But you can't really talk to Squawk, or if you do, you've got to go do that. You got to pull him out of what he's doing.
How many tiers are we above? Where is everyone else?
3.
Everyone else is still at the temple. You're 1 tier down, so you're 2 tiers above them.
Okay, I would like this to continue to walk down towards them.
Well, can we have a second to chat it over while you engage in your diplomacy?
You can. I do not want to go. I want to leave at least.
Well, we can't stop him, but we can talk.
Yeah, we can talk amongst ourselves. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
You guys do what you're gonna do.
Die.
You guys do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna take
as Squawk or Nick, he will do what he's gonna do. And so
you start to walk down the
Squawk on the Squawk.
Squawk, you're walking down the staircase, and you step on a few places where it looks like there's a lot of that soft rubble. but when you step on it, it actually remains perfectly solid and doesn't move at all, and allows you to easily walk down that staircase without slipping at all. And so you've now walked down to you're just one level past them. So there's basically they're at the bottom of the staircase in the field. You're at the top of that first staircase, right above the brambles. That's how
I want to stop halfway through, and I want to take I want to take a step back as well. Like I want to be able to show that I can walk back up and down through the brambles.
What are you carrying?
Fly into it.
I'm carrying a red feather. I'm not going to do the second level.
You're carrying a red feather?
I have all 3 items, but I believe that the question that you're asking is that it's the red feather that I have to get through to get to the second level.
Which 3 items do you have?
So what are you carrying in your hands?
The first was the flower, the second was the feather. So I have the flower, the feather.
And?
Whoa.
Here he goes again. Who has healing spells?
It might have been a
Who has healing spells?
I keep walking down.
Here's what we'll do, Nick. Here's what we'll do. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God.
That's an excellent way to solve this. Hilarious.
All right.
Oh,
so
nice.
you think about stepping back up the steps.
You had to have been
And
nervous.
decide at the last moment, maybe not. Remembering back to your rather
Your previous death.
severe issues on the steps. So you remain paused on the steps.
Okay, MVP award goes to DM tonight because that was a great move. I love wisdom saving throw to be able to recall previous information.
That's because it worked. You would have hated if it didn't.
No, I think that was brilliant.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, if you'd have rolled an 8, you would have deserved it wholeheartedly.
Terrible idea. Who would solve something like that?
All right. So as you're making your way down that staircase, you see this blonde woman in the red robe step forward, and she shouts up to you, "My name is Vlindra Shadowbane. I'm here seeking an end to the death curse. I don't know how to tell you to trust us. I don't know if I can trust you. We're not asking for much from you. Just help us get to the top of this the ziggurat, so that we may also pursue this. This curse affects all of us. We're in this together.
It does affect all of us. And we too, I too seek an end to this death curse, and I know the direction to which we need to where we need to be headed. Will you join us in our adventure? Why don't we all just join up and move and head towards our destinations?
You know the
Squawk.
source of the death curse.
Hey,
Squawk.
Nope. We can't talk to him. We
can yell to him, right?
You could shout down to him.
be like, "Hey,
You can talk to Squawk.
Before you invite people to our party, maybe you want to
maybe
talk to
come
the party."
confer."
I've already made a wisdom saving throw and know that I can't go back.
I'm not asking you to go back.
Yeah, I'll go down. Jason will go to Squawk's level.
I want to stay hidden personally.
All right, so hey, Roland, you're hidden. You're trying to hide.
I mean, are we visible
No
from
one's
top
hidden
there?
right now. You guys are very much in the open at the top. Of the table.
I would actually like to try to hide. Well, he's kind of heading down there. I'd like to kind of like sneak behind a bush.
What kind of gecko
Go
are
ahead
you?
and- Go ahead and make a stealth check. All right. You're able to kind of duck down and kind of use the sight lines of the tiers of the temple to kind of make sure that you're not poking your head out past the edge, so you stay out of their sight lines. But if you wanted to try to go down the tiers,
I don't want to move at this point. Well, stealth. Maybe
you can
we'll
move
see how things go.
probably pretty freely up on the top tier. If you wanted to go down a tier, it would be very difficult to do that stealthily.
Okay, I'm good for now.
Okay, so Jason, you start to descend, and very similar to Squawk, you have no problems going down. You make it down to the second tier between the snakes and the rubble. That's where you are right now.
And so I
You're
would
one
just
tier away from Squawk.
suggest to Squawk, we should probably confer before taking on new members, but I agree that it's best to know who they are and why they're going where they are. It seems if they say they want the end of the death curse, no problem in helping them, but it's best to be cautious of strangers in the jungle.
So the woman again shouts up, "Again, did you say that you know the source of the death curse? Perhaps we could trade information."
Is that fair? Squawk, should we go down and see what they know?
We shouldn't go down, but I will hear what they know from here.
That's probably safest. By all means, go ahead.
As a gesture of goodwill, what will you offer us for the information? What information do you have?
We can tell you that we know the source of the death curse in terms of what is creating it. We do just not know where it has been created.
Well, we don't know where it is.
We do too.
Yeah, we do.
We absolutely do.
We absolutely do.
What else do we need to know? We need Nangalore, the Flying Island. What else?
Well, ask them what they think. Sorry,
Control item of a shield protector. No, okay. I'm thinking myself. I'm talking to myself. Maybe I would suggest to Squawk. Well, we know where that is. Ask them what they might offer in aid of our quest to help us reach the same goal.
Silent slave.
Oh God.
Screech will ask the questions that Screech requests to know the answers to. But in this case, my servant does have a good answer, good suggestion.
Oh, I'm just mumbling to you. I'm not yelling it to them.
Doesn't matter. Shut up and play along.
Jason takes us with bad grace.
She looks a little surprised and says, "Oh, I see. Well, as I mentioned, I'm happy to trade information, and perhaps we should travel together. If you know where to seek this source, maybe we could join you, and we could join forces. And there are quite a few of us, and together we would make quite an imposing party of adventurers, wouldn't we?"
We are, but we don't know who you are yet. We know your name is Melisandra, but what does that mean? Who are you?
We are just...
It doesn't matter who you are.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Whoa. Please, I'm a friend. He don't know what he's speaking about.
Oh my God.
That was
I
really
just want everybody to calm it down a little bit here.
Great.
So did you do that?
That's what I did. Yes, yeah.
I did not say it doesn't matter who you are.
That is the only take back you get tonight.
That's fine.
Next
Hey.
time, you did it.
Keep that in mind, though. That's important to remember, Nick.
I am 100% okay with that being my take back because that was worth it.
That was. I mean, I had to step in there. Zigmundo does not step in.
So Valendra responds. She says, "As I mentioned, my name is Valendra Shadowbane. I'm here with my friends and associates. We have traveled from a long ways to the land of Chult in search of the source of this death curse before it spreads and affects our homeland as well."
Well, it's affecting everyone's homeland, but that doesn't really answer who you are, where you're from, or what you're. Everyone wants to solve the death curse. So you saying who you are and where you're from doesn't answer the question. Who are you? Why should we? You haven't not given us any kind of indication why we should let you join our party, aside from the fact that our goals are aligned.
Well, friend, I looked at it more as letting you join our party. There are more of us. Why should we trust you?
Because we have the high ground.
Oh my God! This is our diplomat.
You see,
And I kind of look around and I say that.
No.
You said it.
Nope, you had your one
As you
take back.
say it, as you say it, you see the gentleman in front of Valendra, who you've previously been talking to. You see him kind of step back a few feet, and you see his arms kind of go behind his back, and you see him start to looks like he's untying something. And you see the Chultan guard kind of get a little bit closer to Valendra.
Okay, I want to make sure that our hands are still free. Like, we have solved the puzzle of talking to the Oracle. We are not here to fight. We are just simply saying that you need our help to even speak to the Oracle. We have spoken to the Oracle. Us joining you that isn't the answer, and you necessarily joining us isn't the answer. There is no joining of anything. Perhaps it's just an alliance of we are us and you are you, and we are together as two entities working together, not someone absorbing someone else.
You are you, and I am I, and we.
She kind of looks up to you and says, "Oh, so be it. If it won't work to join forces, then you travel on your way. Help us to reach the top of the temple, so that at the very least, there can be another group that may get closer to ending this curse once and for all."
Do I recognize the Chultan guard?
Go ahead and let's go ahead and have you roll a.
That's true. Is it one of the guides that we could have hired? I guess is the question, right?
Well,
like
Jaden has a little bit. He's
a-
from Chult, right? So he's got
Right.
more.
I am from
Do
Chultan.
they have a Triceratops?
They do not.
No, there would
They
be
do not.
two of them. There were two of them with the Triceratops. Although one of them might have
I
died.
still want to
I
see
don't
a
know.
Triceratops.
Yeah,
so I'm fine with that.
Go ahead and go
People
ahead
die.
and roll a history check with advantage.
As you guys might know, people die on their
Yeah.
way down here.
We got you, Chris. We got you.
Okay, advantage. So thank God for that.
Okay. You've seen him around in Port Nine Zaru, perhaps at some of the bars. Quiet guy, part of the guide corps. But he is a local Chultan
Part of
who
the
has
guide
been in
corps.
Port Nine Zaru for as many years as you can remember.
Got it. Might I suggest to him that him and I by ourselves have a quick talk as my guide of this party through the jungle to him, of his.
So you're a ways. You're pretty far from him right now, right? You're.
I would descend as far as is necessary without touching my weapons.
So you can
hands
walk
out.
down to the field.
Hands out, at least to the first tier, to suggest to the guide. Perhaps we could confer to alleviate some confusion between
Okay,
our
so
parties.
even from that first tier, you're still going to be shouting to get to him.
Okay, well, halfway down the first tier then.
Okay, so you start to move down the brambles, and as you do, the brambles separate to make room for you.
Right, but before I get
you're-
all the
you're
way
gonna
to
have
the
to speak.
bottom, I'd like to
Yeah.
offer that we might speak together, and that I would be willing to come down as an offer of peace and cooperation to discuss our situation before things became unnecessarily violent.
Okay, so you have to you still have to say this loudly enough that everybody around him can hear this.
That's
'cause he's
fair.
probably 20 plus feet away from you still.
Right.
So you say this, and he kind of looks. He's got at this point he's got his hand on his sword, which is still in his scabbard on his
Sure.
side. But his hand is now on the hilt, and he looks kind of nervously at Valendra, and she turns to you and says, "I see no reason for us all not to just talk together, friends. This and violence. We have not brought up violence. The you two," and she kind of points to you and Squawk, "are the only ones that have brought this up. I see no reason for this. This is
I'd say
escalating, and I would like to see us dial this back before it goes bad."
so. I'd say, look, I concur. I've proffered no violence. I recognize your friend. I think we can reach an agreement, and I'd like to just speak briefly to see how we might help each other.
This is my guide, Silu. If you know him, please come join us and we can speak.
Very well, but I'd much prefer to speak with someone that I know and have seen from the area, if you don't mind.
Silu kind of stands up at attention and says, I am in the employ of Miss Shadowbane. If you have anything to say to me, you must say it in front of her.
Very well. I guess if those are your conditions, I think our concern is not so much that we need to be in conflict here, but we would like to know the source of your concern for the death curse. We are very concerned, and we would like to help if your goal is the same as ours. But we've met many treacherous people in the jungle, many witches, many sorcerers, many people wishing ill to us, and you can understand why we might be concerned.
Yep. Hey, Recto, I'll let you in. One thing that you all notice is that the other three people who had previously been prodding the brambles at the first step have started to back up, and they're backing up. And Jason, you're still in the middle of the brambles, or have you descended
in the middle
into
of the
field?
brambles? Yeah.
Okay. And so Recto, looking around, you see there's about a dozen Chewingas at the top on the top tier, kind of peering out over the edge of the ziggurat.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of turn to them and say, do you guys know anything about them? Are these friendlies, or are they dangerous?
So you say this and you see one of the Chewingas kind of turn to you and makes, it's so they're wearing masks, right? And they don't speak. Right. You're going to have to make an insight check here with disadvantage to try to determine what they're communicating to.
All right.
I have faith in you. Oh.
You'd get the impression that they're not comfortable, but you can't get much more than that.
Okay. Yeah, neither am I, so that matches what I'm thinking. Okay. All right, thank you. I'd like to make my way down to Squawk then. He's on the second tier still?
He is just above the first tier, but right, he's just above the bramble staircase.
Yes. Sure. I'd like to verify I have my flower and my feather in hand, and
sure.
And then work my way down to Squawk.
I'd like to do the same. I'll break stealth.
Because I wanted to talk to him and just kind of suggest quiet.
You head down there. How about Zigmundo? Is he staying up top or going down with?
What's the range of the fireball?
120 feet, just so you know.
That's the full
no,
ziggurat.
I'm going to I'm going to go down the lift with everybody.
Okay, so all of you except for Jason are at the top of the first staircase. Jason, you're about halfway down the staircase.
And I'd like to not. Well, yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you're up.
That's fine. I just wanted to talk to. I just wanted to have a word with Squawk and just kind of let him know, hey, the Chewingas seem uncomfortable with the situation. I don't think we really know what to think of these folks. I think we can tell them. I don't know where the harm is in telling them Omu is where the death curse is coming from. I'm not sure why that would be bad.
Enemies against enemies is still good for us, right?
Right, and that might get them out of here. If that's their true goal here, and we tell them that, then they would go, theoretically.
Tell them she's asleep, that nobody can speak to her.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give them any more information than they're asking.
That it is an empty room. It's an empty room.
No, I wouldn't even tell them. I would just say, listen, we have word that the death curse is in Omu, and I'm kind of saying this like a huddle. We're doing like a sidebar here, talking this so they can't hear us. I'm kind of saying it under my breath almost, and tell them either it's in Omu and kind of send them on the right, or send them somewhere completely irrelevant that we don't know, and send them to Camp Righteous. Send them to Camp Righteous, for crying out loud. Like have them deal with the undead and the Allosaurus and everything we dealt with there. Like, we can get these people out of here without a battle, hopefully.
Okay. So Valendra is speaking at this point to Jason, who she's kind of looking at expectantly, thinking that Jason's now going to come down and speak with them.
I am speaking with him.
Right, but I think the last thing that you talked to her about is you had asked if you and Silu could go speak in private, and
she said no.
Well, he said no.
He said no. So
so what are you?
So I'm asking as much as we might have the same direction, I think it's in all our interest to have all the best knowledge of this island. We're headed to several places of interest. Any information that you might have as to our enemies in the island, or any information that might keep us alive during the difficult travel, we would appreciate it. I think it would be of good faith of you to speak first on this issue.
She nods and says, "Very well, we will speak first. If we tell you of the device that is causing this death curse, you will tell us of where we can find it?"
It depends on how much we think we can value that information. If it's something we know to be false, obviously I will not act on it. But if it's something that we think may be of use, certainly it is worth something to us. And you have my word as a native Chilton that you can receive something valuable in return.
Okay. So she looks at the gentleman with the maul next to her, and she nods to him and steps back, and he now addresses you and says, "The wizards from our homeland have divined that there's a device called the Soulmonger, and this device is stealing the souls of the recently dead and capturing it inside of the device. The souls there last for some time. We think weeks, maybe even months, but eventually they fade. And for what infernal purpose this device was built, we do not know. We have heard rumors and tidings that it may be one of the great liches that built this device, and if so, that's bad things would certainly be associated with it, but we do not know exactly what his or her aim may be."
Liches must die, for certain. I appreciate that you've shared this with us in confidence. I can tell you...
Hey, Jason, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Sure. Sorry, I was checking out everybody else's stuff. I'm not... Perception. There we go.
You see a couple folks, two of the people kind of bristle a bit when you mentioned that comment about liches. They kind of shifted.
I see. So, and this fully in character as Jason, I believe we all can agree that liches and their undead kin are the scum of the earth and need to be slaughtered in mass. And I think we can all accept that general premise.
Hear,
Can't we,
hear.
fellas?
Hear, hear.
Valindra kind of steps up and places a hand on the shoulder of the other gentleman and says, of course, yes. And if it is a lich at fault here, we will find the lich's phylacteries and destroy them. But first, we must find where the Soulmonger is. Have you learned this information from the Oracle? Can you tell us, or can you allow us up to meet with the Oracle ourselves?
Surely, I would be happy to let you pass if I but knew what brought you here. I see you're all arrayed in the same colors here. What significance are your garments there? What band are you with? Maybe I've served with you.
They call us the Red Wizards. We hail from an island nation far from here. Our home is home to many wizards, and they have divined that if we do not stop this curse will spread to our homeland as well.
I see. I've had some experience with wizards myself, and so I know exactly what to expect. I think that you'll find if you head to Camp Vengeance that they might have some good answers for you there.
No.
That's what I said.
Hold on a minute.
Well, where?
Oh, right.
She
Everyone
narrows
roll
her
for
eyes.
initiative.
So Valindra narrows her eyes and looks at you and says, "Friend, we've spoken honestly with you and given you what I believe to be valuable information. I will try to let this pass, but I know that what you are speaking is not honesty."
I'll tell you honestly, that's where we're headed next. And if you were headed along our same path to destroy this awful curse, then you'd be happy to join with us as we head there.
Hey, Jason. Before you invite people to our party, I'd like you to ask
I'm not
the rest of the
inviting them
group.
to their party. Yeah, I'm not
So-
invited to their party.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check, Jason.
Yep. No, I think this is going to come to blows. Out of character.
Yeah, because
Why wouldn't it?
Oh, crit.
Okay. So
I
she's-
crit with a -1.
Crit's a crit.
So
It's a crit.
So she looks and says, "Fine. If we will travel with you to Camp Vengeance. We know that this is where the Order of the Gauntlet is now based. When we arrive, you will tell us where to travel to find the Soulmonger, and then we may part and go our separate ways."
Of course. That sounds like a perfectly reasonable proposition. If I could explain our arrangement to our party, we'll be on our way shortly.
Very well.
All right. And so I'll head back up to the first tier, let everybody know both my suspicions and what I've told them.
Okay. So you turn around and start walking up, and boom, bramble sticks in your leg.
Nah.
1 point damage.
Yeah. Okay. What's my long jump ability? Is my strength?
No.
yes, it is. Others.
Oh wait, no. Wait. Is it? Can I just gesture them down, like with a little?
Of course you can.
Come here. Oh well, then I would like to.
I mean, it's up to them whether they do it or not, but
Fair enough.
gesture.
I mean, I am still holding the flower.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Okay, fair enough. But if it's not working, if I get a bramble in me, then I'll gesture them down. No, I don't. I see what you're typing there, Mike, but I don't want to give them that insight.
Oh.
And looking up, you guys can see now there are a few dozen Chewingas all the top tier.
Does anyone care to respond to my summons?
What
or-
did you? Oh, what, you summoned us.
Oh,
Just sort of.
Can
I
we,
really don't want to.
Can we get in a line so that the bramble's open for us going down to him, and we just keep it open from him up to our level where we are? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we stand in a row to where, like, we open it up from him to us.
Yeah, you can try that.
You could
I'm
try.
okay with that.
So I'll walk down.
I'll land. Like I'll walk and follow first or second, whatever Recto wants to do.
Sure. I mean, I would walk down. I guess I'll walk down first
It's
and get.
it's 15 feet, so it's not that far.
Yeah, I'll walk down. Yeah. What I'll
Okay,
do
so you guys
first.
are basically-
so what I want to do first is take the flower. I kind of want to do this. I want to do this discreetly. I want to take the flower from my
I gotta
ear.
head to the bathroom. I'm gonna do it while you figure out how you want to do this. But
I kind of
if I can come back to you, I will.
Like as I'm scratching my head, kind of take the flower discreetly and put it like down, and like slide it into my belt as I bring my hand back down.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
Perhaps Squawk should have done that.
Yikes.
Nice job.
Okay. So you're able to,
Keeping in mind that I'm very short, and that probably puts the flower pretty close to the brambles, I want to say.
So you're dropping the brambles? So,
no, I'm like sliding it kind of into my belt, like into my pants, like closer, like into my belt line, close to the brambles, so that, because it seems to be like the Chewingas let them through. It let the Chewingas through because the flower was at the brambles level, like close to it. And I'm thinking that it'll let us through if we keep the flower close to the brambles. But I don't want to show them that. So I'll do that. I'll kind of do that and start walking down towards Steve and get close enough to him to where the brambles open. Jason, Jesus, Freudian slip. So where the brambles open between me and him, and he can kind of walk up too.
Okay, so you walk down, and so the brambles close behind you. And now you're standing next to Jason, and you're kind of two spheres of your two circles of non-bramble are overlapping a bit.
Okay.
But there's a lot of bramble above you.
Okay. Anybody else want to come down?
Why don't you just walk up?
Because we can't just.
Why can't you just walk up? You have the flower.
So yeah, I'd like to that in mind, I'd like to maybe take a step back up to see if where the flower is right now will allow me to walk back up.
As you step back up, the brambles do not separate and instead kind of come towards you. And 1 point of damage.
All right.
Seeing that, I'll walk down. I'll walk down to the brambles.
Okay.
I don't think we're getting battling anybody.
So Squawk, you walk down into the brambles. You're standing now next to Recto.
Right. So I was saying behind bramble, I'm gonna look up at the Chewingas, and I'm gonna kind of like motion, make like a can you come help us out kind of motion to help them to see if they'll come down and help us back up.
Okay. You make the motion, but actually, I don't think Squawk can see the Chewingas.
Why can Squawk not see the Chewinga?
You never
right. He could not. That's right, because he's never seen a Chewinga.
No. Yep. So you look up there, and you've seen your other party members looking up there, but you do not see these Chewingas if they even exist.
Okay. I still ask for help for. Hey guys, if you never mind.
I guess I'll follow behind Recto as much as I really don't want to go down to these people. That seems to be where we're going.
That's how you've lived your whole life thus far.
Yeah, let's just deal with them.
Yeah, and I'm still alive.
Let's just go down and deal with them. No, huddle in the brambles. Let's just huddle in the brambles and let's just talk
have a little huddle.
Yeah. Let's sidebar in the brambles.
Sidebar.
All right.
Sidebar.
Respect the sidebar.
Side bramble.
All right. You see now the other the other members of the other group have all come together now, and they're also huddling.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, so
every few seconds, one of them will peek up out of the huddle and kind of look over at you.
This is the robe of the people who we saw, the corpse that we saw earlier, which was probably from that dinosaur. So they're missing one person, and they're probably looking for that person.
I'm sure we've all lost people in jungle, but I know cults, and I know hatred, and I sense both from these. I don't think they're any enemies of the undead.
With that, and I'll tell you. Oh, sorry.
They seem none too pleased.
I think we should send them
about
south.
my call for the death of liches.
Now, I'll remind everyone that the Chewinga are not comfortable, do not seem comfortable with these folks being near their temple. And while they were quite helpful to us, so
right,
they sense something is off with these.
As was Iku, right?
I would think we need to send them south.
Hey, Zigmundo, can you make a history check for me?
Don't we have a like?
And actually, I'll do a history check with advantage.
History check with advantage, you say?
Yep.
1 second.
Do we have do we have an idol that glows?
Yes, we do. Several.
Yeah, we got all kinds of glowing shit.
We got glowing shit from hell to breakfast.
Oh, that's a good point.
Sorry, rolling history with advantage right now.
So send him somewhere else.
I am sending him somewhere else.
To the paladins.
To the paladins. Yeah.
So Zygmundo, you know that the red wizards come from a land called Thay, and traditionally there's a very antagonistic relationship between Thay and the Sword Coast, and you know that there's quite a bit of necromancy and magic galore in Thay.
Okay, we're still in the huddle, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I communicate these facts to my party.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I let them know they're like a bringing things back from the dead. You know, it's not very nice.
These aren't crusaders. These are acolytes.
Yes, and I'm an acolyte too. You see what I do? Not that like that.
Right. I think it's best we find a way quickly here while we're speaking amongst ourselves to dispose of them. Should we do it now? Should we do it at night?
So I turn to the barbarian, and I say, "So you saying we should kill him?"
I'm first of all not a barbarian. I'll thank you to remember. We're proud scion of the albino dwarf people. And we have a deep cultural history, but I think that it's best that we kill them before they find a way to kill us. They're after us for our information.
Troy, can you remind me how many of them there are?
There are 6. Well, so there are 5 of the quote unquote red wizards, and there is 1 Chultan guide.
Do we recognize that? I'm sorry, and I know we talked about this before when we were joking about Triceratops, but do we recognize the guide out of any of the guides we met?
Not out of the guides you met, but Jason knows of the guide and knows that he's another guide from Port Nyanzaro.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean he's probably not evil. He's just doing his job, right? So
He's just doing his
we
job.
got to keep that in mind.
He probably has rations, guys.
So I would
God.
I would just ask the party, can we confer that they're better dead than allies to us?
I don't know that we want to.
I say we just to move on and leave him here.
They won't let us leave here if they think we have something they need. Give me the nod, and let's do this the simplest. And let's do it the simplest way.
So we can give them the rubber chicken sans the cube inside of it and tell them that
I say we give them the cube.
No.
Oh no!
God, no! That is
no.
Veto. Hard veto.
No. You mean the Jade Idol?
The Jade Idol.
No, that's worth hundreds.
Not only is it worth hundreds, but if it actually is evil magic, then we'd be giving them an asset.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So.
No. Well, we tell them we can give them the rubber chicken and tell them it's something magical, fun, whatever, and then it
fun for everyone.
I'd love to give Valinder something. I just need you to nod and tell me that this is what we're doing.
I do not want to instigate a fight with these folks.
Well, no, I don't want to instigate a fight, but I need to. I think we should get the fudge out of here and let them do their thing.
Well, I've told them that
now we're committed to traveling to Camp Vengeance together.
To Camp Vengeance, which, if we manage to get the entire way, we may find allies there. However, I don't love our chances in the night.
We just need to survive 10 days of travel with them and sleeping next to them.
So we're going to Camp Vengeance because that's where the canoes are, correct?
Well,
That's
and
part of it,
various other pieces of information, and frankly, people that would help us kill these folks if they're actually evil.
I think we got to send them somewhere.
Why don't we just give them the information to go talk to the Chewingus?
Just tell them that.
Send them out to Iku. Yeah, Iku can deal with it, right?
No, because the Chewingas aren't going to help him. Tell them
They won't help him.
You have to ask for help, and then
Yeah.
they will show you the way up.
Yeah, this is a problem that solves itself. Okay, I'm down with that. Somebody go ahead and tell them how we got up the pyramid, and if they'd like to speak to the Oracle themselves, that's how they get up there.
Yeah, well, they can sense if you're telling the truth or not. That's right. They can sense if you're telling the truth or not. So if we tell them, we asked the Chewingas for help, and they helped us.
Ask for
and they helped
help.
us. If you'd like to speak to the Oracle, that's where she is.
We didn't find
can
anything
I
up
propose
there.
something interesting, which is like what I started this conversation with, which is the hilarious bit is here's another adventuring party trying to do what we're doing. So that's like on its own, it's kind of crazy. But moreover,
but they're not.
What?
They're so not trying to do what we're doing.
They worship the dead. They worship undead.
They're trying to do the exact opposite of what we're doing.
Okay, so.
But yeah, sending them up there still might be the best path. There's a giant mythical beast up there ready to chew him.
No, none of that. Just tell them the Chewingas helped us up. We didn't find anything.
Right. No, I wouldn't suggest we tell them that. I'm saying we know that, right? There's a supposedly powerful guardian of Chult up there.
Yeah, so
Okay. So, but
let her guard herself.
And now we are fairly certain that even with the right items, we're not making it up the steps. So the steps could be closed
Yeah, it might be broken.
indefinitely.
But we're telling them the truth about how we got up there. We asked the Chewingas.
So to Andy's point, though, we have to make sure that we word it in such a way so that we are telling the truth without you know what it is? It's like the selective truth, right? Like you tell them enough that you're not lying, but you don't give it away.
just say you have to ask the Chewingas for help, and they will send you up there, and you will find all the answers you need.
If they deem you worthy, we're just
Okay. So
we asked the Chewingas. We're headed to Camp Vengeance, and that's all they need to know.
Okay, so
you guys have about 30 more seconds of huddle time before it's like getting awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Let me
Might have been quiet for.
No, we got
we are
time.
going to say something along the lines of, we asked the Chewingas
gonna
for help. They gave us something, and we don't know whether or not it changes as it goes on. We're heading to Camp Vengeance. See you later. Goodbye.
I wouldn't even say they gave us something. I would just say we asked them for help.
Yeah.
And they showed us the way.
Good.
Okay, Mike,
And-
you wanna be our mouthpiece for this
Sure.
last bit of our message?
Sure.
We'll do it in parts of 3.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
So
okay, go ahead.
As we break, I'll turn to them and I'll say, gentlemen, after further conferring, we would like to help you get to the top of this temple, and we will tell you how we did it. We simply asked the locals, the Chewingas, for help, and they showed us the way up this temple.
You see them start to look at each other as you mentioned Chewingas, like with a bit of confusion. Although Silu doesn't look confused.
So that is what we did, and that is how we got to the top. I assume the same will work for you. That said, we would like to part ways here. We will head our way. You guys can head yours, and we may see you in the future as we try to end this death curse. But
so go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage. Because they have reason to not believe you now. So even though you are telling the truth.
There you go.
Nice.
So Valindra, you see Valindra whisper for a moment with Silu, and she turns and says, "Thank you. This was a much easier way of handling this. I'm glad one of you has some sense. If in your travels you should need our aid, you can seek me out in our base. We've set up a new base at the heart of Ubtao. You may recognize it as a large moat of earth floating in the skies above the southern parts of the jungle.
that's where that X
That's
is,
like you
right
guys.
to the west of Nangalore, guys. That's what that is. Yep. So
I'm basing our expeditions out of the heart of Ubtao. Come by if you need help, or perhaps we can join forces after all.
Thank you.
Are you sure you won't tell us before you leave where we can look for this death curse? I thank you for the help ascending the ziggurat, but if you already know the answer, it would be very valuable to us to be able to just move on. The time is of the essence. I don't know if you've heard this, but a powerful wizard, Sindra Sylvain, recently perished in Port Nine Zaro.
Oh,
Nope, there she goes. It was only a matter of time. We were never going to get back there in time to get her.
And there are several other powerful individuals that we seek to save, and every day that goes by is a day that they no longer have left, and I fear that they all have very few days left.
We do as well. And while I'd love to tell you, I will tell you we are not 100% sure ourselves where we need to go at this point. So what I can tell you is you will probably find the answers at the top of this temple for what you may need. So follow our instructions, and I'm sure what should happen will happen.
So very well. We'll travel to the top of the temple and see the oracle. Perhaps she will give us what we need to hear. Look for us in the heart of Ubtal if you need us, and she kind of leans in. If we decide we need you, I suppose we'll see you in Camp Vengeance.
We may stop there in our travels, yes. That is possible.
Travel safe.
You as well.
Okay, so you guys are sitting in all the brambles.
So yeah, we'll. So the yeah.
I will head out of the brambles.
I'd like to head out, but I'd also like to, when we get to the forest, like, I mean, if they let us by, assuming they let us by, and I'm not sure, Troy, this is up to you, how far we can go each, but when we get past the fields, I'd like to turn around and watch to see if they are able to to climb this temple, because maybe the Chewinga are obligated to help anybody who asks for help, in which case we just gave them the key to get it to the top of this thing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean Iku has to tell them, though. She's
Right.
supposed to be a guardian of help.
But she's asleep.
Or maybe it's not even Iku. Maybe they have their own mystical oracle.
What if they
guy.
walk in,
Or
she's
maybe they
asleep,
go up
and
there
they
and
kill
they
her?
kill her.
Well,
Whoa,
if they
whoa.
came to know where it is, what are they going to do? Torture her to death? She's a mystical snake.
No, maybe
She'll
they're here.
eat-
Maybe they're here to kill her. Maybe they're here to kill the guardian of Orlunga.
All right, well, we could stay, and if they come down covered in blood, ambush them. I wanted to kill him at the
Kinda
bottom
late.
of the steps. Well, you telling me? I wanted to kill him right there.
I'd like to get through. I'd like to get past them to the woods and watch.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I think that's our plan.
Okay. So all of you come down the steps to the field?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I will.
So you guys,
Speaking.
so
for me.
you all come down through the brambles to the field. You see the other group standing near you. Several of them are talking to Silu, asking him to tell them everything they know about the Chewinga. And you see two of the individuals have these giant tomes out. One is kind of pouring through this tome, kind of that's just covered in glyphs and words, flipping pages back and forth very quickly. You see the other who has a tome of just blank pages, and he's listening to Silu, what he has to say, and writing things down furiously as they look back to the brambles and look to Silu. You overhear from time to time he's speaking to them about the myths of Chewingas within Chult. They're definitely looking at you out of the corner of their eye, but they make no movement towards your group. Ooh. As you pass by them and head towards the tree line, towards the jungle. I assume you're going towards the east.
I want to be reading their lips as they're doing that.
Okay.
Using my observant.
Yeah. So when you read their lips, Silu seems to be reluctantly telling them about the Chewinga, who he seems to revere as kind of holy spirits of the jungle. And they're prying him for information. Where are they? What do they look like? How do we see them? How do we summon them? He's telling them he's telling them, but really all he knows is more myth. So he tells them stories and what sounds like legends, right? That's what he's telling them. Several minutes later, you're out of range, and that conversation is still ongoing when you left.
All right. So do we want to
So you're all at the tree
observe?
line.
I say we observe. If they start climbing, maybe then we reapproach.
Try to go up the stairs after them?
Yeah.
No, I don't care for that. It didn't let us back up.
No, we
Well,
have to
we-
hold. That's because we have to hold the flower in the brambles for it to happen. I think the brambles have to see the flower. It has to be right there for them. We never put the flower down there next to them, which we did last time when we went up.
Well, let's see what happens.
Okay,
If
how
they
long
get
do you
up
wanna
with the
wait?
flower, then
How long do you want to wait with the at the tree line?
till they at least attempt to try to go.
We were up there, who knows how long? A week? 2? Does anyone know?
No one knows.
It was a long rest. It was, as far as we're concerned, 8 to 10 hours.
Sun.
When I came out, I saw sunrise, sunsets. She said time didn't pass the same in that
Yeah, but
realm.
that was different. That was different because we were up there. It didn't take us 2 weeks to get up the ziggurat. Like we stay here for half a day, we'll be able to see them. But I don't
Should-
think we'll probably
should
take
they
that long.
ascend-
They're going to try to get up there immediately.
Should they ascend to the peak, we have no way of knowing when they come out again.
I'm not saying we wait till they ascend to the peak. I'm saying we
If
wait
they-
till
I
see
wanna
if
see
they
what
get
happens
past the
after they
brambles.
ask
If they get
after
past
ask
the
Chewinga.
first level, I say we reapproach.
I don't even say that. I think we just go now.
If we're going to wait for them to get up and then attack them, why
Not
did we
to
not
stop, we
attack
just
them at
wanna
the
see
base
if
of the
Chewinga-
stairs?
We based this decision on the fact that Chewingas wouldn't help them. We want to make sure that they're not going to help them.
All right.
I don't even want to take that chance.
Okay, so you guys are at the tree line. You're 100 yards away from them at this point.
Now fully in the Death Council.
What? How long do you want to wait? So you still see them. By the time you reach it takes you maybe 5 minutes to get to the tree line. They're still talking. You've seen one of them leave and go back towards the brambles. You can't really tell what he's doing. How long do you want to wait for them?
How close are they to each other?
So there's one group that's all together of 5 of them, and one person has separated himself and is closer to the brambles.
I say we go now. I say we just go and attack them. I don't want to deal. I don't want to wait for because if the Chewingas
We
do
haven't
help
gotten
them, there's
a
no
single
guarantee that
reason
we
to
can
do
help
that.
them follow them. There's
We
no
haven't
guarantee
got
that we can
a
help them.
single reason to attack them.
I have a reason. Only
Is,
me though. Only you.
And
As
if
far
we're
as
going to do that, I need to go pee.
the
Before you do
RP.
it, is Squawk telling the party that?
Squawk's not telling the party that. Nick's telling the party that.
Yeah. The version that the party knows is that Jason has expressed extreme prejudice and suspicion after his ostensibly peaceful talk with them.
Well, that would have been nice to
And-
have heard.
No, I told you that. I said these are cultists. These are haters. I suggest that I make an end to them and let me know if I can do that. And you guys said, let's go past the tree line. So I have done. But if we're back there now talking, I would reiterate. I
would
don't
say the idea is
I don't
that
understand the plan.
we wait for how long did it take us to figure this out? It seemed like it maybe took us like 10 minutes to figure
In
out
real
first
time?
to go look for the
In
flower.
real time, it was about an hour.
It was
or
about
two.
an hour.
An hour.
In
Yeah.
game time, it was about an hour. Like in D&D time, it was like an hour or two. In real time, it wasn't quite that long, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was about.
I say we give it an hour. Let's give it a single hour, and then
I would
go.
wait a few hours, honestly, but yeah. I don't
2
want these
hours
people.
and see how
I
it
don't
goes.
want
No,
these people getting to the top of this temple. That's my goal. If they start
I don't either.
progressing up there, then we leave. But I also don't
That's
want to
the
kill
problem
them
with
without
all this
necessarily knowing anything about them.
Wishy-washy nonsense. If you didn't want them up there, let's kill them at the bottom.
Again, the idea is that the Chewinga aren't going to let them up there.
This
So if we
temple
watch
has
them, they can't
defended
get up
itself for how many years? This temple still stands. Like, it is here for a
Alright.
reason.
You have only my suspicions to go on, so I will wait here for
They
you.
worship we found out in the kind of offside, we found out they worship the undead. So yeah, liches are probably like, kings to them. So
I'll
they
let-
probably will.
I'll let the party decide when they should die, but it will be later if it is not sooner.
I'm sure.
So as
I'm
you guys-
sure you're
as you
right.
guys- So as you guys discuss what to do at the tree line, Squawk, you notice that Valindra has separated for herself from the group, has walked a little bit towards you and is facing away from the ziggurat, looking at your group.
What if I killed just her?
Oh, Jesus.
Do you say that?
Yeah, Jason says that.
She's looking like she knows we're there. We're not hidden.
Apparently.
Like the thought was we would go into the forest as if we were walking away, and they would not know we were there, and we would leave, and then would kind of sneak back and kind of watch secretly.
You gotta remember, it's a flat chult, so.
But it's not. But there's a tree line. There's a tree line. You know.
Yep. So you guys didn't hide. I mean, you are in the tree line, so that means you are far away. You aren't easy to see, but she does seem to know where you are. That said, you didn't, take any, you didn't do a group stealth kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you are kind of just
Clanky.
You use this.
It seems we're discovered. If your object was a stealth attack, we may wish to venture in a bit further before we come back around.
Sure. And let's do that.
What does everyone else think? Because
Yeah,
I think we should just kill her. Okay.
Yeah, it seems we have 2 votes for kill and 2 votes for wait.
Andrew
has not weighed in this.
Zygmundo must speak!
I think we've spent an hour and 45 minutes figuring out how the hell we're getting down some stairs.
Welcome
That
to us
being
in non-combat
said, I
D&D.
think that we should go hide in the trees.
Right. Hide in the trees it is. Let's go.
All right.
See?
Okay.
Can Squawk pee when he's hanging behind the trees at least?
Yeah, can we buy
Yes.
it quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's
no
fine.
chance that 30 seconds passes and then we're suddenly in combat unless we trip over something. That's the only time that ever happens.
Okay. Bio, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oof.
Five whole minutes, man. I told the wife I was going to wash some dishes. That's not happening.
I understand the reluctance, but like full on for
Well,
slaughter.
Your character is a lot more slaughter, slash and kill. I mean, what's your character's alignment? I don't even remember.
It's chaotic good, but I think these people are evil. And I've been in the jungle, like, killing evil things for months and months.
So that's always such a weird thing, like dealing with your
No, I'm sorry,
interpretation of
chaotic-
chaotic good.
Chaotic
Like,
good, yeah.
I don't mean you. I mean like everybody's, because like for me, chaotic good is like
Could have
Oh.
evil consequences.
I got to do a thing that might hurt my party members, but the overall party will succeed. So like that's chaotic good, right? Like
Yeah, it's sort of an your intentions are actually good, but it is kind of an ends justify the means sort of alignment. Yeah.
no, and I agree, but it's always really interesting to hear like everybody's like take on it, because you're like, oh, I believe that this person is evil, therefore we should kill them, and like mine, even though it's chaotic good, is like,
You have a different background. You have a different view.
oh no, and that's what I always find real interesting. Like that's why I love like the role playing.
No, it's like real life ethics, right? It's like your opinion of what's good is not exactly the same as mine in character, right? And so it's like we're both acting according to our alignment without violating it, because there's not a set like rule of this is the good action, this is the bad action. You know
right,
what I mean?
exactly.
It's the only rule is that we try to act according to our lights, right? And
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
is kill witches and undead, and these guys are a little bit of both. And
You think?
I feel like
you don't know.
and I think, but I mean, if I've been killing undead things in the jungle and living by myself for months and months in suspicion of a peninsula littered with evil, I think I'm gonna be a
Then-
little trigger
then do
happy.
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I'm trying to be cooperative.
like,
by
I'm
the
not
by,
going to give you the go-ahead to kill someone based on what we think they are. Like, that's not what my character does.
Well, and I think you've seen several examples where if I was absolutely sure of something, I just did it myself.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you were arguing maybe there's traps around the skull gate, and I was like, I walked through the skull gate. Like it's like that kind of thing. It's like it's like, oh, there's a hostage. Should we kill the hostage? I just stabbed that fucker through the gut.
But at the same
know what I
time,
mean? But in this case, we did have an opportunity to confer, and they did ostensibly come in peace. So I'm trying to be cooperative. I don't want to be the guy that just does whatever I want whenever I want. That's not
Squawk.
It's not good for anybody.
That's what Recto used to do. Yeah.
On a totally unrelated note, how's my microphone volume sounding?
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Oh, here is a third path, Andrew. Just point the wand of mystery at them and see what happens.
Oh, okay. So Troy, so I'm glad you brought that up. So as a side note, my intention is on the time we get a next long rest where, as because we're in that hut or whatever, I fully intend on taking all the different wands and staffs I have and like flashing them together into one giant like quarterstaff. And
no, that's not a thing.
No, but so this is my intent with it, and you can totally tell me to take a hike. But depending on where I'm holding the staff, that's the wand I'm activating. So it's like kind of like a giant oboe of like magical disaster.
That really sounds fun.
An oboe of magical
like
disaster.
Spin the wand, the wand wheel, and see what we come up with.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be physically quite weak because it's made up of all these different parts. So I wouldn't recommend hitting somebody with it. But
The intent is not
Sigmundo doesn't hit someone with anything.
Fifth staff for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think it's just like kind of funny that I'm like,
So now, does that mean your staves that you use to do your mage armor and your magical illusions, you want that to be randomized in a wheel of magical disaster?
No. The intent is to not be randomized. The intent is that like if I'm holding it like here, I'm activating one thing, but if I'm holding it like here, I'm activating another.
But if you hold it sidearm, it's different. It's more gangster.
Okay, well, we should talk about it to make sure that it's going to work the way you want.
No, I mean,
because...
so mechanically,
God.
it would be like I'm using the staff of defense, right? Whatever, but like visually, I'm holding this stupid thing that's like lashed together, right? Like I'm not going to go hit anybody with it.
Okay. All right, so
like whatever.
No, I'm good with that. We can do something like that. So with everybody back, did you guys figure out what you're doing? You're heading into the jungle or you're heading back into the field?
I say we head into the jungle and try and stealth so that they can't see us.
I agree.
We're gonna head in. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
Probably best.
You cast Pass Without Trace. And you guys, let's say you head another 100 yards into the jungle. The tree line now fully obscures the field. You can no longer see the other party. I assume that's how far you want to go in.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah, we want to kind of go to that.
But we have to all we all roll stealth for this spell, and then we add 10 to our stealth roll.
Yeah, that's right. And so you're completely out of view of any of them. Go ahead and
money rolls thus far.
Nick.
I got it. Hang on.
Watch him do it too. Yeah! All right. 23, the low end. That's a hella good.
Great spell.
All right. Okay, so you guys kind of regather and you talk to one another and you talk about like hiding in the shadows of the trees and stuff like that. So you feel relatively confident in everybody's kind of knows to stay hidden. What do you do now?
Back in the sight line of the ziggurat.
Okay.
From a different, not exactly where we came from, like a slightly oblique angle to that. Yeah.
We wanna head back to Camp Vengeance in some capacity.
No. Okay. Well, not yet. But
so my understanding is you guys are all headed back to the tree line, looking back towards Oralunga to see the party. So you see the other party of individuals. Valendra appears to have rejoined the group. You do see there's now two people kind of looking around and particularly looking up at the temple close to the bramble line. The rest are kind of still conferring, talking to Silu. Silu is from what you can see from this distance, he's looking pretty dejected, just in terms of body language. How long do you want to wait to see what happens?
Couple hours.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, hours.
Yeah.
I say 2 max.
But at what point? What is our reaction to be like? Okay, well, at what point do we interfere?
If we see a Terlingua walking down the steps, if we see the brambles separating coming down the steps, then I say we interfere at that point.
You mean kill him or leave?
No, we go in at that point.
So what is it you're trying to gauge?
We think that they will just be dicking around here all day.
I don't think the Chewinga are going to let them in.
But if they do, we want to kill them?
Yes.
Then, yeah, because we're basically using them as like a, hey, we're good, we can walk away now. The Chewinga won't let them up.
Okay.
And yes, we might have to kill them later, but maybe they're helpful later.
So you've gone to the 50-50 kill them or not, flip a coin, two-face option, where if Chewinga let them up, we can't let that happen, we kill them. If they don't let them up, it's not our problem. We head back, we fuck off into the jungle.
Then the temple's defenses will protect itself, and we don't have
That's
to worry
where
about
we
it.
were when we kind of originated.
Got it. No, I perfectly understand our posture. Let's proceed.
Okay. So, after about half an hour, you see the main group break up, and now they're all kind of scattered. You can see that Valindra is still next to Silu, but everybody else is kind of up by the brambles, very similarly to when you first walked out, and they're back to poking and looking around. They don't seem to be making much progress. Another hour goes by, and they are looking frustrated. One of the people has kind of returned to Valindra. They seem to be slowing the search down. Another 30 minutes goes by, and they're actually back in a huddle again. Nobody's poking by the bramble line, and they're just huddled together, probably talking for all you can tell.
I think we go.
I think we go too.
All right. If our intention is to use their invitation to get to their home base at some point in the future and root out every necromancer, I'm in favor.
Okay.
We know 5 of them there.
Nick, you...
Is there anybody else breaking up, or is that just Nick?
It's just Nick.
Sorry.
I heard him breaking up.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew,
And now Andrew.
Andrew breaking up too.
Yeah, Hillers, you're coming clear for me.
Yeah.
It's
All of you are breaking up for me, so I'm going to leave and come right back.
It happened to everybody. It seems to be a wave that's happening every like hour and a half.
DDoS.
It's funny. It's like you
You
guys
guys
are
gotta
like,
see, you guys gotta see Squawk.
and I could hear you guys perfectly.
All right.
And then it was like
So-
the action type was no route, and I was like,
So before you guys head into the jungle,
Can we label their X, by the way? The X of the floating island, whatever they called it?
It is.
yes,
It's already there.
no, with the name of it. Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it.
Hold on.
There it is. Heart of Utah.
So before you turn to leave, you see everybody's step kind of around Valindra in a circle, and you see Valindra raise her staff in the air, and then a kind of this purple light starts to emit out of the staff, and then kind of arcs down below rails, and boom, they're all gone.
Okay.
Oh, and
She teleported him out.
no, she went in a different plane.
Chance going.
Peace out. Let's go.
Back to Camp Vengeance. We've got an invitation now to the Heart of
We
Utah.
just spent 3/4 of the night doing that, so let's get to
All
somewhere.
right. We sure she didn't teleport onto the top?
Well, we'll never know, will we?
No, we won't.
Back to
That's a
Camp
good point.
Vengeance.
All right.
Can I make an Arcana check to see what spell she cast?
You can.
Because if it was like Dimension Door, then she's still close by.
And
Boo.
You can't quite tell, Nick.
Okay.
You can tell that it is let me just check here.
That's fine. Worth a shot.
You're certain that it's not a bard spell.
she didn't
Bards
have a
get
guitar
access to
at
every
any
That's
point.
Bards
good.
get access to every spell.
She had a guitar at
core
no
bard
point.
Hey guys, that is not a bard spell. I do not know what spell she cast.
Interesting.
Delightful. Now that we
also means it wasn't a teleport spell.
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Because bards would have a teleport spell.
Bards have
Because
Dimension
a
Door.
teleport spell.
Yeah.
He means the spell teleport.
Oh, I get it. Okay. So now that we've let
think
the
we've done what we
necromancers go, are we on our way or?
We've
On
done
our
what we
way.
could.
Yep, let's go.
Okay. So you all head back east, following kind of you kind of try to navigate based upon sight lines for
Where we've been.
where you've been. You spend most of the day and marching well into the evening to get close to the river. You can hear the river kind of roaring, and you make it pretty close to the river's edge, to the western edge of it, before it's time to make camp. You're a ways away from where you killed the zombie T-Rex, but you know that you're roughly half a mile or so upstream from that based upon your bearings. But it's time to make camp.
Hooray.
Do we want to put up
Huzzah.
that house?
Get the hut. Get the hut. Get the hut. Well, actually, we've all just done a long rest, so.
Well, I'd like more hit dice back, if possible.
Wait.
I'm
You're
out
not fully
now.
charged with hit dice? I mean, I thought that's basically what happened.
No,
No.
you rounded up from half.
No, you are because you leveled up.
No. Is that true?
Is that? I don't know.
At
You leveled
the
up.
So I can pull out my sitar and my new magical sitar, and for Jay's request, I was like, closing time.
No, I didn't think leveling up changed anything. I think it just
No,
Increase
because you
your
have your
number.
dice back.
you get at any long rest you get half your hit dice back that are half your level of hit dice back.
Rounded up.
Right.
So Nick, as you play
how many hit dice
Sergeant
were you down,
Abaz's,
bro?
I had none.
Oh.
Yes, as I play Sergeant
so Nick, as you
sitar.
play Sergeant Abaz's sitar and sing your song, everyone has crowded around you, and all of a sudden, kind of this force kind of goes growing out of the sitar and forms a dome around everybody, and you can see
Nick.
out of the dome.
You get to choose a color of the dome, Nick.
I know, it's a deep purple.
Ooh.
Purple. All right,
deep
nice.
purple.
I'll help make the
and
floor nice and flat too.
And it actually flattens the floor out for you.
Perfect.
It's,
It looks
and,
very
there you go.
nesty in here.
Makes like a.
And I say something along the lines of, "These are places for the birds."
Oh my god.
So there's no furnishings, but if somebody wants to step outside, you could step outside and you could test, that you could throw a rock and it'll bounce off. It won't go inside, but you can walk back inside. And you can't see inside the dome from the outside, but you can see outside from the inside.
Is it safe to create a bonfire inside? Like a fire.
It would be actually, yeah. So you try that and you create a little fire, and you can see the smoke actually passes through the dome.
Looks
So-
like Deep Purple is coming to Jacksonville in September.
So we would keep our watch order the same.
That is the second best one.
Well, the difference is now we're in a hut, right?
Yeah, but there's a little bit less. There's actually quite a bit less danger associated with this hut because nothing can come into it for 8 hours.
Right.
Right. It's a magical protection dome.
Yep. But I mean, but our watch
We
order
don't get
was-
along, but with this order, we don't get a long rest.
We do. We do. We now
do,
it's
though.
a,
We do get a long rest.
we have a full night's sleep.
We still did
So
the
I-
watch order as if we were getting a long rest in the past.
So I take a nice nap.
Are we understanding this correctly, DM? That we can still keep the same rest order since now we're getting a long rest.
You could keep the same watch order. The thing to know that if you do that is that the hut does not last for the full 12 hours that you need for your watch order.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we do this? Andrew, you and I can each take 4 hours,
Swap out.
and then
Yep.
everybody else can take 8.
Sounds
I like
good.
it.
I mean, Zigmundo.
You got it.
Okay, and then you guys can fit it all in. So,
Yeah.
All right. So, come morning, the sun rises, and whoever had last watch sees as the dome kind of disintegrates.
Just for the record, I would like to have last watch because I'd like to be there for sunrise. So
All right.
At least once a day.
So- and you see that that dome disappear, and it's time to get up and keep marching.
get your hit dice back, boys.
Now,
I had
is
mine.
Is it half? I don't want to sound like too meta here. Is it half? Is it?
Half your
Are
total.
there only two halves? Are there only two halves, or is it half and then half and then half?
No, so it's half your
It's half your
current
total.
level per sunrise.
All right. So after 2 full rests, you'll get all your hit dice back,
Correct.
Unless you use one, yeah.
unless you use one. Yes. Okay. That was my confusion. Is like, but it's half and then it's half. Like, do
No,
I only
it's
get
not-
one hit die back?
No,
It's not half of what's missing.
Got you.
It's half your current level. So
Does he get the hut back after that too?
yes, he gets to cast this.
The next day.
At dawn, yeah.
Oh, because it's
Once
not a
per
spell. It's just he plays the thing.
It's an item. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
This is going to help us a lot.
Yeah. God. Well, it's going to help the
Yeah.
spellcasters quite a bit for sure.
Until he smashes it over
You're
something.
welcome. Do you know how
Yeah.
little our
Yeah, drunken
literally
rage.
3 weeks of our gameplay because we hadn't had a long rest?
And be
All
like,
right,
I don't
let's keep
know. I
moving.
shoot a firebolt and look tired. Yeah, let's keep moving. Let's go.
Okay, so you guys, you can see where you are on the map now. You're headed to.
Before we head off, like, can we look around? And I want to take a look around real quick and see if it looks like anyone's following us.
Do a perception check.
Sure. Sleight of hand, perception. Or 19.
You do not see any trace of somebody following you.
Good roll.
That's
Alright,
okay.
All right.
Let's keep heading towards Camp
Mm,
Righteous.
No.
I know we're going to Camp Vengeance, but anyone who hears me say Camp Righteous doesn't know that.
I got it. Got it. Yeah.
Because technically they are in the same direction.
What masters of subterfuge you are. Let's move along.
Oh man.
So is that
This
where you
is
guys
not
are
the
going
party you're
now?
looking for.
Are you guys going to Camp Vengeance?
That's the plan.
Yes.
That is the direction
Okay.
in which I am navigating the party in.
Why can't we
Anyway.
just go to, like, I thought it was, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We had a week
So-
to discuss this.
You struggle through the swamps, and every night you find a safe place to rest, and you find that the hut will actually move the waters of the swamps out of the way for you, so you can have a nice dry place to
my
rest.
God.
Eventually,
Under
you
the
get past
swamp?
swamps, and you're
Under
back to walking around the great plateau of Umbala. Past there into the wetlands of the Aldani Basin, and then up, following the river a short ways to Camp Vengeance. And about 10 days travel, you finally arrive in Camp Vengeance.
Oh, that was so much faster.
Roll for initiative.
Oh no, there's a map.
What? No, map
Historically
change!
doesn't end
No! No! Map
I go
change!
invisible.
I'm not seeing it though.
So you
Yeah, I
Seen
just see
the map?
blackness.
It's just
Black.
black.
It's black at the moment. Yeah.
oh that's
Back to
hold on,
black.
hold on.
Up, down.
By the way, these things.
No, don't. Just
Chewy line.
no. Stop it.
Oh, Miller Lite. Whoa, wow. These things are legit, by the way. These Pringles extra hot.
Extra hot.
Oh
Have
my
you gotten
God.
into Taki's Masa and Fuego?
No, but that sounds amazing.
They're-
Which way are we
We'll talk
coming
later.
in from? I guess the
You're
only
coming.
way.
Well, no, you're coming
the
from the
only way.
south.
Right.
You're coming from the south,
Okay.
following the river's edge.
All right. So we try to sort of work
Do
around.
you
the-
remember this guy's name?
Negative.
was,
Doesn't matter.
Like-
Jason would remember the
Jason
the
would
head
know probably more.
is breakbone.
Breakbone.
balls or
Break
something.
and,
Yeah.
I remember
and,
it sounded like a division bad guy.
And
Squawk
who's-
does sexual healing.
and who's my roguish friend that works there?
Pern.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, so there was Pern, and so she was the woman with the dagger,
Yeah.
and then there was a dwarf Ord Firebeard who I think you were friendly with as well. He was, I think, part of bringing you into the camp.
Got it.
So I suggest as we get up there, let's let Jason lead this in.
Fair enough. So
Okay. So as you guys approach the camp, once again, you can kind of see. It looks like maybe things have cleaned up a bit, but it's still. You can smell it before you can see it. The stench of death. You see corpses of decaying creature dinosaurs, basically impaled against these spikes that surround the battlements of Camp Vengeance. As you get closer, you do see two guards atop the front gate that leads inside of Camp Vengeance.
How high are these pillars? These spikes?
The spikes are about 10 to 15 feet long.
And the walls are 10 to 15 feet high as well.
From the ground that they are on, but the spikes are actually embedded in this kind of almost like a dry moat that surrounds the camp.
But the wall itself is 10 to 15 feet high.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can see guards moving around up here in this like plateau thing ish.
Up here, yes, you see two guards.
Okay. And from a perception check wise, does it sound any different or than it did when we left it earlier?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
seems shittier. Bye.
Well, no, I mean, does it seem like odd? Oh,
I get it. I get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Nice roll.
So that's
Rolls.
a lot of nice rolls. You're using up all the good luck.
Yeah, we are. The
Thanks.
rolls are good tonight.
The rolls are good for no purpose. Be like, and nothing.
Dude,
Welcome to
whatever.
combat next week when we die.
Good
to
rolls
some,
are good rolls.
A boar in the forest.
So you don't distinguish anything noticeably different from your last time here. You weren't here very long, but there's no signs of battle. There are no.
that's the question. Is there any signs of battle? Is it like oddly quiet, like as we approach the
The
gate?
guards don't seem undead.
Maybe, yes, that would be another telltale sign of things that are different than what we were looking for before.
How zombie are the guards on a scale of 1 to zombie?
You're like Bill Murray in Zombieland zombie. Like kind of zombie, but not really zombie yet.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
I'd say we approach the front gate.
Go for it, Jason.
Yep,
You know these
I'll
people.
I'll hail the guards and I'll say, hello there. Seems like you're still keeping a watch. Good for you. We're back with information for Breakbone. Let us in.
So you see one of the guards go, this guy, and he kind of motions
love
over to
it.
the other guard, and the other
They love
guard
it.
leans over, oh, Jason, welcome back. And they go and they shout over the other edge, and the doors start to open up very slowly as it drags some of the mud. As
A
it-
divided opinion in the camp. Who would have thought? All right. In we go. And I'd look around for anybody that any officers at least that I was aware of.
So in front of you is the large command tent where you would typically expect to find Commander Breakbone and frequently a lot of his his direct reports. And then you see the medical tents to either side of the large tent. Neither of them seem to have the long lines that they had the last time you were here.
Got it. That's probably bad. So I would proceed towards the command tent.
Recta is already.
No, sorry, I was testing my macro. Sorry.
And you're ambushed. 18! I got it in it.
It's a good roll, though, but no.
It was good. Yeah, it's wasted now, but okay. Yeah, proceed towards the command tent, please.
Okay, so you take the lead, and you see the guards kind of looking at the group, but then they look at Jason and relax as you guys lead the group into the command tent. You see Commander Niles Breakbone. He's seated behind a small desk, not at the big kind of command table, but at a small table to the side, penning some sort of letter. And as you enter, he kind of looks up, sees you, kind of continues writing for another moment while you wait, finishes it, kind of folds it up, puts it down, stands up. You're back. It's been nearly two 10 days, I believe. So what have you found?
Very much towards your purpose, and some that may lead you to reconsider your position here. First of all, the evil atop Mbala Plateau has been dealt with. The witch that we found there, a necromantic fiend, has been slain by
a witch.
This party here. Yeah.
Well done.
Secondly, I think we found good cause to believe that the center of the curse that befouls this entire peninsula rests in Omu to the south, which seems to be
the lost city.
Seems to be, and I would show but not give to him our map showing where we know it to be.
He says, wait just a moment, please. I want to call in others to hear this as well.
Absolutely. This needs your entire officer corps. I think it fair that the entire camp be informed of what we know.
So he kind of motions, and one of the guards comes over. He tells him, go summon the leadership team. We've got everybody needs to hear this. And so they go back, and about 10 minutes later, you've got Pern and Ord and about two others that you haven't spent as much time with have joined you inside the command tent.
Right. So I would reiterate the initial information that I explained to the commander there. I would also say that the guide that we had with us when we approached was not as she appeared. She changed into a great flying lizard. Seemed of exceptional antiquity and magic. She directed us to Mbala, where we slew the evil we fought there, and returned to her hiding place in Oralunga, and through no small efforts of our own managed to find our way to her sanctuary, where she told us that the center of the cancer that infects this peninsula is to our south in the city of Omu. And I would spread out the map, show them where it is located, and say that we have reason to believe that not only is this the location of the great arch-lich that is animating the hordes of undead that infect this island, but also the home of a general of an army of said undead, and the home of several witches that now oppose our cause because we've killed their sister and cleared Mbala of their evil influences. They say that our party has means of navigating and finding our way to the center of this evil, and that they did exactly right in letting us free to investigate this, that we're closer than we ever were before to finding the true cause of this, rather than just sitting in a defensive position and waiting to be overcome.
So as you get to the end of that, Pern leans over towards you and says, you boys have been busy. Or
quite.
You were all bitten and have mad monkey fever, because I think you might be insane.
Well, I think our wizard friend may have a touch of the snurpies. but
Well, I want to ask her what mad monkey fever is.
She kind of looks at you and she says, "Well, if you're asking, I suppose maybe you haven't been bitten, but go out and play with a few monkeys. You'll find you find a lot of things funnier and maybe more likely than they really should be."
Wait, this is an actual disease?
oh yeah, it's not great.
How do we know, like, how if the monkey... We have encountered
You're
some
focusing
monkeys
way too much
before.
on this monkey disease.
You'll know. You'll know.
If you develop
Redbone kind of-
thumbs on your feet, you've got it.
Oh,
I'll
Jesus
I'll
Christ,
tell
we're
you-
in the
I'll
fucking
tell you when
jungle.
you-
I don't want
I'll-
mad monkey disease when I'm 200 days away from anything.
If you start
I'll
throwing
tell
your
Breakbone
feces at
takes
people,
takes his mug and slams it down on the table and says, "It's enough about the goddamn monkeys."
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Haven't we got enough Snurpies to worry about around here without you worrying about the mad monkey fever?
He says, "This is incredible information."
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Jason, I had my doubts, but if what you've learned is accurate, you might now have shown us the path to ending this scourge forever.
But you know, Jason doesn't know how to
5
do.
6 days after you left the camp, I sent a team up to Port Nine Zaro to ask for more supplies. They took some of our sick with them. We need to wait for them to return. Once they do, I plan to march downriver and try to find the city of Omu.
no.
How many were in this team?
We had 4 healthy men and 8 disabled.
Who did you send? Who was their guide?
No guide. They just had to follow the river.
You gotta go up the river. There's no.
They did.
Well, make sure it wasn't Valendra.
It probably wasn't. We've got an alibi for her.
Okay. Oh, ask him about the red robe people.
Right. Well, that's the plan. Give me a second.
All right.
No, that wasn't the plan. You totally forgot.
What do I have to do with you? I swear. Now,
Ask questions.
would you give me 1 second? I had to tell them a month's worth of information, right? So, following that, I would suggest that, given their sort of weakened position here, that it might even be best to return to the fort altogether and mass the greatest possible force if you're working towards Omu. That we have reliable information that this is its location, and that there is an army lodge there that we will need some assistance in dealing with.
I
Son,
also
if I
want
was
to
the kind of-
volunteer here that my healing is extended beyond sexual and is actual healing
Get
now.
that bird out of here. I remember you now. Get the bird out.
My healing is beyond sexual now.
You'll recall that my companion has some social issues.
So the bird come by, grab Squawk, and escort Squawk out of the tent.
So,
Whatever.
we also encountered
Crazy how
on
often that happens.
our way on you are thrown out of
You'll be
all those
Thrown out
every
of so
building-
many places.
It's like 90% of buildings you walk in. I would also mention that on our way out of the ziggurat, we encountered what at least I believe to be an extremely suspicious group of red robe people that we thought to be that I thought to be, although my party had some doubts in the employ of necromantic forces. Do you guys know anything?
He says, yes. I've heard rumors that the Thayans are here on Chult, and I know not what they're here for. The death curse would certainly bode ill for them as well, but I do not believe that we would seek the same end. They're best avoided.
I can only
Well,
concur.
we avoided them.
Your counsel to return to Port Nine Zaro. If I was the kind of commander to return when things got hard, I would have done so after Camp Righteousness. No, we marched back up the river, down the south. We formed this new camp here. You've told me where to go to fight this undead menace. That is where we will go. We will wait a few more 10-day. We'll see if reinforcements arrive. If they do, we'll go in a greater number. If they do not, we go with who we have today.
If you can bring them, that's all as well. But to go down unprepared to face a great horde is no strategic victory to my mind. That you'll take that as you will. I'm not commander here, but don't lead these men to die. These are hordes upon hordes of undead. Do not go in unprepared.
We're always prepared. Killing the undead is our job. You've pointed us to where the job needs to get done.
I've given my caution. I would ask. We have learned of several other points of interest, and we'd like to know if the officers of Camp Vengeance have anything to offer us regarding the floating island known as the Heart of Ubtao, the ruins of Nangalore, or any other means of traversing to these points, than trudging through the jungle with what we have now.
So he calls over this woman who's dressed. She's clearly native Cholton, but she's wearing a mishmash of kind of Cholton armor and Order of the Gauntlet armor. And she comes over and he kind of points on the map and says, "Do you know anything about either of these?" And she responds, Nangalore is known to her, and that it sits in a marshland far to the east in Chult. That it was once a beautiful temple, but was destroyed long ago. She does not know why you would seek it. She does not believe anything of value is there. The Heart of Ubtao has long floated above the jungles of Chult. In the past, Terrafolk and Aarakocra have alternately made nests there, but it is sometimes revered as sacred. But Choltons have never spent much time at the heart. It floats far above the canopy. There's really no way to get up to it without magical or mystical or some other way of flying.
Why is that the magical way to get
You're not there. You're not there.
Oh,
you're not
sorry, I was escorted out.
You
Sorry.
got thrown out of the tent.
You got thrown out
So
for bad puns.
for bad,
Well, not a bad pun. It was a factual statement that I said.
that's bad puns is the best reason to throw someone out of the tent. I would ask if they knew the most expedient route to Nangalore and could point that out on their map. Is that by water or by land?
So she, so this person you infer is probably a scout for the Order of the Gauntlet.
Roger.
Yeah, she tells you that there's really between you and Nangalore, it's a pretty direct route. You're going to be going through a lot of jungle, so it's going to be hard travel. You're going to have to cross some undead lands that are filled with the undead that they've been avoiding by staying on the western coast of the River Ocean Star. You're going to have to cross to the east. No. She tells you, she kind of turns to you and says, no. You're going to be going southeast. You'll have to cross across the River Ocean Star and then through the undead claimed lands in the jungle. Then you will also have to cross across the River Olung. And once you have crossed that river, there is Nangalore.
I'd like to open up my map and kind of have her mark out a couple of the areas where the rivers are and the undead areas are specifically.
Yes, thanks.
So she shows you that this river right here that you guys can see.
We only have the Camp Vengeance map.
So this river.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to cross across that to get to Nangalore.
Yeah, that's the River Olung. Ocean Star is the river you're on right now.
Yeah.
So basically everything between those two rivers is undead
shithole. Got it.
Is that what the yellow is on this?
Yeah.
Undead shithole.
We're gonna kill so many undead.
Oh my! Get ready, load up. Also, I'd like to note that on our way to Omu, we may not take the same path as your army. Are you aware of any point to dock on the southern coast of the peninsula that might be closer to where we've marked on the map here? And any information about those southern territories?
So again, he leans more towards the scout to speak. She tells you that there is an anchorage at Jahaka Bay, but that's not close to where you're going. She tells you your best bet would be Shilku, although that they haven't heard from anybody in Shilku in many years.
All right. What was previously located at Shilku?
It was a small fishing village.
Until they lost their honor.
All right.
I was
Okay.
looking for CH.
All right. So I would indicate that I'd like to let anybody in my party speak to any information that they have that they might have missed, and implore that we be able to gain a moment to rest at the camp and to gain supplies before heading out in the cause of getting more information and more sources of weakness against our enemy for their army for our final attack on Omu.
Commander Breakbone,
So-
I'd like to ask, how are your wounded? I mean, how are your men here?
Well, we lost more than we would have liked to, but with your help, and he looks over at Roland. With your help, we were able to save a few that wouldn't otherwise have been saved, and several of them were able to make the journey up towards Port Nyanzaru, where the gods willing, hopefully they've been able to be healed. And I can't really say, but we are certainly understaffed, undermanned, but we are up for this challenge. It would be easier if you traveled with us. Why do you go to this Nangalore? We know where the evil is. Come with me to Omu.
All due respect, Commander. We have our own purposes on this island, and we have our own ways of gaining information that are not always helped by a large military force. And we expect to be able to meet you in good time in Omu, should our paths meet there.
Very well. I trusted you when I didn't think I should, and as a result, you found this Omu and found this information. So I will have to trust you again.
Also, Nangalore is quite close to Kirsabal, which is a potential destination for one of our party members. Do you guys have any knowledge of Kirsabal?
The scout leans in. She says, "Yes, Kirsabal is the capital of the Arakakra here on Schult."
But as far
What is
as we
the
know,
current fate of
it hasn't fallen to the undead, or it still
She tells
stands.
you, until the undead start flying, it'll be very difficult for them to siege Kirsabal.
God's sakes, if they start flying.
One more thing I would ask for myself. Do you have facilities in the camp for crafting, blacksmithing? I have some need of repair and improvement of my equipment in our short rest before we set out again. I hope I might make use of them.
He tells you, yes, there is a smithy who he has some rudimentary facilities that we've been using to maintain our armory. Feel free to make use of the smithy while you're here. We will be starting to pack it up to this whole camp will be torn down over the next week or two to prepare for our trip to Omu. So use it now if you're going to use it.
I was trained by the greatest smith this island ever saw. I doubt I'll have any problem making use of whatever you have at hand. It's an island in my heart.
Piggybacking off that, does anybody have a glove? Maybe like a right-handed glove I could wear.
Just the right-handed? You want the fingers cut off?
Just the right hand.
He He looks down and he sees for the first time the kind of glowing wisps of energy kind of coming off. He says, "Oh, well, that's new."
A little bit. I'm learning. To
A
live
little
with it.
bit.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes, go see our quartermaster. We have plenty of gloves when you're pulling the dead bodies off the spikes outside the fort. You don't want to use your bare hands, so you'll find some leather gloves.
I'd like to briefly jump in and just ask real quick. While we're here, is there any wounded that I can help with? And also, as we prepare to leave, can we have some help with your current canoes to get across the River Socia?
We left our canoes here.
I know, but if they could take us over, I mean, isn't that...
Oh, yeah, that's better. I mean...
So he tells you that there's no major injuries at the moment. There are a few people that are sick. The conditions of the camp, it's very wet, muddy, a lot of stagnant water, mosquitoes. It's made it tough. So there are some folks who have contracted, disease and illness. There's a few folks in the medical facilities with fever. So if you could help with any of that, he'd be grateful. And then he's happy to have some of his men ferry you over the river in canoes.
Well, thank you. I'll see if there's anything I can do. I can fucking help them. So, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything? Anyone want to ask? Squawk if he has anything?
Can we leave our bird fellow here with you?
Absolutely not.
We're still looking for a good home for him, so if anything comes up, let us know.
We'll get him to Kirseball. He'll be fine.
That sounds like it would be a good place for him, and not somewhere I would plan to visit.
I could be helping heal people.
You guys hear something?
They
I think I heard something outside. Don't worry about that.
They hate puns in Camp Vengeance.
It's not the place.
It's not the time nor the place.
All right, so we get a glove and a weapon and go.
Back at I'd like
you're able to find a nice glove. Hillers, here's what we're gonna do.
My Rex bones.
So how long do you want to spend crafting? So you can spend basically, it's going to take you at least a full day, but that's
I think that's appropriate.
Quality.
Yeah, given the. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Can he not just grab a rapier from the armory?
No, I'm trying to make a good one. Give it a second.
He's trying to craft one out of this dinosaur bone that he's been lugging around strapped to his back.
Gotcha.
So here's the deal for this. This is going to be some special crafting rules, not the normal crafting rules. So this is a bit of a one-off. So what I'm going to have you do is make a roll and add your proficiency bonus. Don't do it yet. If you spend 1 day crafting, you're going to roll with disadvantage. 2 days crafting, straight roll. 3 days crafting is roll with advantage.
Okay. So I'd like to address the party before I did this. All right, and
actually, I agree. If Hillers continue, sorry.
No problem. So I'd like to explain. I'd like to take out of my pack the bones from the zombie T-Rex
that you didn't kill.
I mostly killed. And then say, explain to them it's like my adopted father was buried, Castax. We were seized upon by the Snake
I'm
General.
Pull out my viola and play a song as he starts telling the story.
A sad song. But we were seized upon in the canyon of Ataz Ilquazi and butchered by and large by the undead forces of what I now know to be Hassan Aziz. He taught me growing up before I got into the pits how to make weapons made of bones like these. It's been several months since I've seen albino dwarves, and I don't know if our people still exist. I know we've been hunted to the ends of the earth by these filthy undead. He used to tell me that the properties of the weapon that you crafted out of the bones adopted the strengths and properties of your enemy. And while I can only think he would have a grim opinion of the undead, a weapon that I could craft from the bones of this great beast that we killed would be unrelenting, hungry, tainted by death as everything on this island is. And I think it could be of great service to us and a truly meaningful monument to our people and what might be the last of a dying craft. I would ask that I be given time to make something worthy of the quest that we're setting on here, as now I truly believe that we can kill what is the worst in this island, and I think we need to be best prepared to do it. I think at maximum I would need 3 days to do this, and I would ask your patience while I prepared it.
See, I would also like to talk in a long soliloquy for the next day.
Hey, Recto, you cool with this?
With staying here 3 days?
No, that was great, Hillers.
That was well done. Well done.
RP point +1.
So if we're gonna spend
Good
3 days,
backstory, and also
Good idea.
helps you guys understand what his motivation is in character.
No, that was awesome. Good job.
I would say yes, and I would also like to take these 3 days to learn some spells out of a spell book that I'm carrying.
Word! Make them into scrolls. Long rest time.
If this is what it's going, if we decide to do this, I'd like to spend those days looking for rations.
I'm gonna spend those days healing the camp up with my spells.
And say, Zygmundo, you don't need to learn those spells. Like, that part of being a wizard is you have those spells now. You can just slot them in.
Oh, I thought because they were in a spell book, I had interpreted that I had to learn them, and it takes me, depending on the type of spell, up to 10 hours.
Let's look at that, but I don't think so. I think that's if you wanted to copy it into your spellbook, but I think because you own both spellbooks, you can just.
So so to be clear from where I'm coming from, it was my interpretation that I have a book of spells, but to become familiar enough to use them, I needed to spend some time studying the spell book in order to pull it into my available spell list.
It could be every day that you can still cast X amount of spells, but that every day, after every long rest, you can spend that time to cast new spells.
Well, it's not casting. It's basically there's a concept of learning the spell, and so there's a time dedication to it.
Gotcha.
If that's not the case, then whatevs. We're gonna hang out here anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't think you need to, because I think that would be if you wanted to learn a spell to add to your spell book. But
you might want to look to see if you want to add one, just in case something happens to that book.
Like, you already have these. You essentially already know these now. Because you own both these spell books.
If that's the case, then great. I'm going to add them. I'll add them to my known spells, and then I'll just make sure that I have them ticked off.
Yeah, because you have no limit to your known spells as a wizard. You just have a limit to what you can cast.
Right. I have my open spell slots, essentially.
Yeah, you do have a limit to your cantrips. So that's important to know.
Hold on. I have that list open right now. Do I really?
You can only know,
what is a limit?
Right, 5 is my total cantrips, which activates at level 10.
Right. So you can't have any others any more than 4, as opposed to you can have as many spells as you want, but you only have a certain number of spell slots.
Correct.
Okay.
Which I also have to have listed as prepared prior to going into battle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing for me.
That's cool.
All right. So, Jason, are you ready to craft?
Yep, ready to craft.
Sounds like you've gotten the go-ahead for 3 days.
Excellent. What
Okay, so
type of roll?
Here's the way this is going to work. Is so it's going to be a straight up D20 plus your proficiency bonus, which I believe is a +3.
Yeah, it is for everybody, right? That's static.
It should be at level 6. It should be for everybody. +3.
Yeah.
So you're going to do this roll twice. Now, before you roll it, let me tell you. Basically, a 1 to 10, I'll tell you straight up, is basically just going to be a normal rapier.
Okay.
It'll be bone. It'll be a bone rapier, but it'll have no additional properties.
Scale bone mountain.
11 to 15 is better. 16 to 19 even better. 20 plus
something really special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if you spend your 3 days crafting it and you're not satisfied with it, you can leave it in an unfinished state and try it again some other time.
Okay. I'd only do that if it was 1 to 10, but I'll probably take it regardless. So. Okay. Here we go.
So D20 +3, roll it twice.
Before he says that, just to make sure, like, while we're doing this thing in 3 days, I'm going to spend my 3 days, like, healing everyone in the party, in the camp, too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to, as he's doing that too, I'd like to kind of roll with Squawk.
Yeah, we'll be here for 72
as well.
hours.
And just kind of roll with him too.
Can I just roll the straight G20 and add 3?
Sure.
Okay. Oh my god.
That's
How
a
did
6.
you do that?
Yes, 18.
Okay.
Oh, was with advantage?
Yes, it was.
Because I had 3 days. If I'd had 1 day, I would have gotten the first one.
Nice.
If you'd spent either 1 day or 2 days, actually, you would have gotten the first one.
Yeah. 18. Sweet. I'll take it.
Okay,
nice.
So you guys, why don't you other guys go while I update this?
All right, so while you're updating that, Squawk is walking around, healing the camp, playing his music, casting vitality, casting cure wounds, casting whatever he can. You're going through his spell book, trying to bring the camp back up to the healthiest state that they can.
I will help with that a bit, and every morning I'll wake up and cast Goodberry. Wait, let me double check that I had it. So, yeah, I do. So I'll cast Goodberry
every day,
just to help feed the party and myself.
And as Squawk's walking around in the kind of the infirmary or whatever of the camp and healing folks, I'm kind of with him, and I'm in there, and he's working on, he's kind of standing there over one person, and I'll be kind of standing next to another. And as I'm kind of standing there, something kind of something inside kind of occurs to me and I start, praying to Lathander, and the deity of the Sun Soul monks, but also the of the cleric who the deity of the cleric who made the mace that I infused into my body. And as I do that, and as I'm praying over him, I kind of realize I'm starting to heal him as well. And so it's this weird kind of thing that starts happening that I can't even understand. But I'd like to start, as I'm doing that, I realize that people around me are starting to feel better as well. So
nice. All right, Recto, the cleric, level 1.
Snurpy's fixed.
Snurpy's fixed.
And how does 3 days of trying to get rations work out?
So I would say that you, by the end of those 3 days, because you're feeding yourself with good berries, so you're not using up any of the rations.
I want to be hunting as an animal too, for what it's worth. Try to help you.
Nice. All right, so you're mostly finding meat, which it will have a shelf life, right? So, but you could find, I think, a 10-day worth of meat for all of you, of rations.
All right. I will do that.
All right, Hillers, here's Deathbane.
Whoa.
Sweet!
So I have a question.
Rapier with the vicious weapon enchantment.
What does that entail?
Click on it.
So
find
vicious
out.
weapon.
I'd love to. It's got a huge picture on it. Oh boy, that looks cool. I'm so
Scroll
excited.
down.
Vicious weapon enchantment.
So
When you
basically,
roll-
it just levels up your critical hits.
Okay, sweet.
But
Excellent.
it's almost like it's better than doubling your critical hits.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
it.
strong. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Is-
I mean, and if I was a champion fighter,
Right, and you got the 19s
this
too.
that would be
Yeah.
disgusting. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I love it. I love it. I love the look of it. I love its whole deal. So thank you.
All right.
And I'd like
Very
to,
good.
after Jason comes out with that and offers it, I'd like to just kind of come up to him and say, like, hey, Jason, if you ever want to practice your combat training or, you ever need somebody to spar with, to kind of stay fresh, you just let me know. And I'd love to work with you, so we can keep our martial training and our combat training up. So.
That sounds like an excellent opportunity. As we are, maybe not the best time, but maybe after we've found someplace a little safer, had an opportunity for a longer rest, I would love to test our skills.
Not sure where would be safer than here, but okay. But sure.
Well, if we want to spend a fourth day, we can try it, but I think I may have overstated.
It wouldn't take a day for me to beat you in sparring. I don't think it would take that long.
I'd take
But,
more than a day for you to heal.
Yeah, I don't think that would be the case.
All right, so you guys get your last full night's rest in Camp Vengeance before setting out in the morning, and that's where we'll leave it for this week.
Sweet.
We did a thing.
We did
We
a
abandoned
thing.
Yeah,
Back to the place that we said we wanted to go to.
kind of uneventful, but
Well, no, but we summoned a potential somewhat army to Omu endgame, right? We didn't disastrously kill somebody that we might need to get to for this middle map X.
Or could have killed us with the snap of her finger, maybe. We don't.
Yeah, we found some assistance in getting to Nangalore.
we burned 0 bridges this evening.
That's
That's great.
so unusual for us.
Yeah.
So unusual.
We burned 0 is actually all we.
Just burned
With
0.
our
That's
propensity
right.
for all things fire, this was very interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, I know we were all kind of asking, but where the hell on the map is it?
Is what?
Damn it,
Omu?
I did it again.
It's to the south of Mbala.
It's like near the
By
southern.
the peaks of flame.
Is it there and I just didn't see?
It's
Oh,
next-
there it is. Whoa, okay,
Yeah, it's
there
way
it is.
down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so far away. I mean,
It sounds like it's a river travel, though, possibly.
Well, or
So, are we gonna try to go down the Aldani Basin to get to Nangalore, or are we gonna try to head dead east and then head south down the river?
the guide at Vengeance suggested we should just cross the river, head across land, head across another river, and get there.
Straight to it.
Yeah, straight to it, basically. But they'll ferry us across the river, so maybe advantage on that, I guess.
So, I mean, we've got the hut, which is a bonus, but I feel
Yeah.
like our day travels are going to be just as tedious as the night travels were without the hut.
It's going to
Hopefully,
be a lot of little, like, probably not little,
Well,
good
the-
skirmishes.
the hut is also invulnerable, so we're going to be waking up to combat rather than.
Right, yeah. It's gonna be,
be surrounded
be
by
the
100
inverse of what we
zombies
just
somewhere.
had.
Yeah, it's just when you wake up. I mean, the orb around the hut is translucent, though, isn't it? So
It is.
we'll know
but
what
they,
we're
for
in
you.
they
for.
cannot
For you,
see.
not for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's opaque to
And-
them, translucent to you.
So they'll be looking around for us, I guess, probing and so we'll know
So-
what we're in for.
And the other question is endgame getting to Omu. Now there's lots of talk of I'm not lots of talk, I guess, but one option is we walk down there. The other option is we head back to Port Nyanzaru now that we know the locations of Mabala and Nangalore, which is what that person wanted to, or Lunga and Nangalore, which is what that person wanted to know. We now have a ship in Port Nyanzaru if we would like to sail that ship around the coast.
What, to Refuge Bay?
To Shilku
To
Bay.
Shilku Bay potentially, or
Find a path over the mountains.
or
and
somewhere
into-
else that might be better. But
Hold on,
You know,
where's Shilku Bay? Is that on the south?
southwest
Southwest of Omu.
southwest tip down there.
Oh, so we would then try to traverse the mountains or go through the Valley of Lost Honor.
Of Lost Honor, right? Yeah, doesn't sound great.
I guarantee the jungle isn't great either. Once we dredge the shithole of undead army that we're gonna have to get through to get to Nangalore, then
Well, right, but
that's the thing. To get to Omu, if we land in Shoku Bay, we've got to go through 2 undiscovered hexes. To get to Omu from where we are now, how many undiscovered hexes?
We know that they're not undead hexes too, because they're not in the yellow.
Yeah. So it's like hundreds of miles
this is
between
fair, but
Nangalore and
we also have to potentially, go seafaring, which has its own dangers in some capacity.
It does,
Yeah,
but
because we haven't done that and don't know what the hell that means.
But we get to fight pirates on the northern shore.
And you happen to have a sailor in your party, a former sailor in your party who has navigational experience on the sea.
So let's say we go the boat route, right? We get to land here.
Well.
That's cool. Then we get to go to this undiscovered mine. We could potentially
No, I know where that is.
this out.
This is all stuff Jason knows. That's Prakramar is Jason's hometown.
Right, but okay, so the rest of the party doesn't know what that's about.
Yeah, but I'd tell you.
Okay, you want to tell us now then?
It's my hometown. I know the area around it.
That's all he knows right now.
Okay. We also have.
But here's the thing that
This
if we do any of that, we don't go to Nangalore, we don't go to Cursival. Like that seems very end gamey to me.
Well, no, I'm not saying we go there right now. I'm saying when we're ready.
We have so many pirates to kill before we get.
No, I'm saying we still go to Nangalore next. I think that's still our next stop.
That's gonna take us a few good things.
That might take us two to 3 nights. Who knows?
And depending on what happens in between, we might have to hit up the heart of Ubtao on the way.
Could we try to do this then? Could we try to go up river a little bit past Camp Righteous to then make the shortest trek across, like
we don't
right here into the safe zone?
The yellow. That's not safe.
Yellow is not safe.
That's not safe zone.
No,
That's
but
dark
that's what I'm
zone.
saying is like the shortest trek into the safe zone from all the dangers. Like we go because what they're recommending is like essentially this.
No,
and
they're
then
recommending
down
this.
river.
Well, no, we'd head downriver, maybe cross the basin.
We don't go downriver. We just cross this river.
Straight shot.
We keep going and we cross this river. Like
Okay, so what? Well, we're just gonna straight shoot it, or we're gonna go down the basin and then over.
No, we straight shoot it. That's what the guy told us. To straight shoot it. Because we crossed 2 rivers. We crossed the rivers.
Straight shot sounds like a lot
of this river here.
I would rather head downriver and then.
What you're suggesting is more than twice the distance.
Do you remember how the last time we were on the river, how we got our asses handed to us?
We did by Brontosaurus tails.
We are so much safer with our
we have a hut. Like that's kind of easy. We just pull over. We get a hut. That's what we do.
No, it has nothing to do with ability. It has all of us being fucking weaklings having to do strength.
I think I might be with Zig a little bit here. The less undiscovered land we have to go over, the less lost.
That's true.
The less lost we will get as well.
So look, right? Like,
so this is the shortest way from the south.
So this is running 150, 160 miles.
That's 100 miles.
But all undiscovered land. Like
50,
we have no
50,
idea where we are in that jungle.
So if you do this, you're looking at 160 miles. If you go down to say here, that's 60 and over 110. That's only 200. That's only 20 extra miles. So I would be open for that.
But here's what I'm saying.
It's not that much longer.
Let's not pretend that.
But that means it's only 100 of undiscovered.
Yeah,
yes,
but
that's true. Listen, I'm.
It's all undiscovered
versus 140 undiscovered.
That distance is better than it looks.
This hex, just because it's revealed on the map, doesn't mean we know what the fuck is in there.
No, but we know what
but we won't get lost. That's the key.
The lost thing is.
But of course not. But if we were to traverse the danger zone going.
Oh, you know what, Zig? You know what? I'm kind of with you, buddy.
Because if we had to go up, we could do this, cut across
the Mesro, come down the river, and then we only got to go across like 2 undiscovered hexes to get to Nangalore.
Right next to something called a
You're almost doubling the length of the trip.
More than doubling it.
Yeah, but we might double the length of the trip anyway if we go through hexes we don't know.
Yeah, but we've been pretty. I mean, it's 1 out of like every 6 or so that we haven't like gone the right direction, or at least you get a 1 out of 4 chance.
Yeah, we're basically
So far.
That's
200, 300.
I don't like that. I don't like that
330
idea.
miles if you go up
We'd
and
have
over.
to get so badly lost.
That's
to
like
do
saying I want to
longer-
avoid traffic traveling to New York City, so I'm going to go to Pittsburgh and then
Right. Right.
Like I
exactly.
don't. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, okay, that's safer, but you're still now you're going to spend. You're traveling 300 miles.
Well,
you guys,
but
so
you
real
stick
quick,
with
can
that
I jump in
metaphor.
real
You
quick?
could say, well,
Hold
I'm just
on,
going to
hold
go
on.
straight to New
Hold
York
on.
City, and you
Wait,
end up
wait,
in
wait, wait.
Pittsburgh anyway.
Let's let Troy.
It's not
weigh
the
in.
worst thing in the world.
So you guys are welcome to go wherever you want and however you want to get there. I'm super cool with. Can you remind me why your characters want to go to Nangalore now?
For the ship to go around. I mean, that's why Jason wants to go is to get the. Well, he doesn't know about the ship. I don't know.
No,
'cause
it
they
does.
told
It
me
gives
to.
us. Yeah, we told them about. I mean, it gives us the option now because now I guess we don't have to go there because we know the location of it. But also the guard, like Iku's sister is there, who's effing crazy. Also, too, we were told that if we just go to Omu now, we would just die basically because we're level 6. So there's that.
Actually, in character, Jason would probably want to go to the heart of Utah. In character. I mean, like if you ask Jason the character, he'd want to go to where the sorcerers were to get whatever resources and information they
I would
had.
think.
I mean, the biggest point of interest is that we have that have actual active quests are Omu, Kursabal.
Omu, Kursabal, Nangalore, and potentially Heart of Ubtao if we feel like we're extra.
And what is this top X? Remember we
Shield Guardian.
Shield Guardian, location of the Shield Guardian, which needed a thing to control it, which we haven't gotten any info on
Which
yet.
might be right next to it, but we don't.
Could be
really
right
know.
next to it. Could be right next to it. Could be in Camp Righteous.
Yeah, we don't know. I wouldn't mind revisiting Camp Righteous, try to get in that temple, but the
Walk over the corpse of Steve.
yeah, revisit
We buried
Steve. Say
We
another
buried
prayer
him.
for
He's
him.
in a
No,
stone
you
grave.
burnt him.
It's in a very
So he
shallow
never
grave.
came back to life.
Only one of his legs was hanging out. So he's fine.
You burnt his
We
remains.
burned what was left of him.
So there is stuff to do in Nangalore. There is, and I've actually already prepped Nangalore just in case we had made it there today. So I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing it, but
Ambitious.
just because I feel like there might be clarification needed here. Your characters would probably remember that the gentleman who promised you the boat really needed a map with the locations of them.
Yeah, he just needed to know where it was.
Which we have.
So the other thing is Kirsabal. I mean, that's Squawk's ultimate goal is just to get back to Kirsabal.
So right now, then it's Port Nanzaro, Heart of Ubtal, or Kursabal. Really, I mean, because we just need a little location. So do we go get a boat? Do we go to the?
Well, how about this?
the
How about we go down the basin, go to Heart of Ubtao, Nangalore, and Kirsabal, and hit 3 in the shortest distance?
Why would we go to
before
Heart of
head north?
Ubtao?
Because you wanted to kill him, and now we're going to
Kill
go to try to
sorcerers.
kill him.
We're just going
They're
to go
evil.
straight to their ultimate location where there's a million sorcerers and just start hacking away at sorcerers.
According to you guys, since you don't believe me, allies for attacking Omu.
Maybe we go back and get the boat. That
I'm not
seems
saying
like
I don't believe you. I'm just saying we don't know.
Well, then they offered themselves as allies for attacking Omu.